Museveni nga tavuganyiziddwa mu kibiina kya NRM.
You are indeed greedy. You are greedy of leadership. And a greedy like Amin, who grabbed the leadership, left us in the chaos in Uganda here.
Minisita w'ebyamasannyalaze wamu n'obugagga obw'ensibo Irene Muloni abadde ku butaka mu kaweefube gwe baliko okukuutira Pulezidenti Museveni akadingidi yeesimbewo nga tavuganyiziddwa mu kibiina kya NRM.
Bamwagala nnyo olw'ebirungi byatukoledde ng'Abannayuganda ng'Abalambuli ate ffe Abalambuli disitulikiti yaffe ekyali bebi n'olwekyo agezaako nnyo okulaba nti atuyamba naffe tuveeyo.
Abalambuli bategeeza nti Museveni ye yekka ategeera ebizibu byabwe.
Bo abantu abasoba mu 1000 beye mu kifo wateekeddwa okwekebeza ebirwadde ebitali bimu okw'obwereere mu disitulikiti ye Bulambuli. Eddwaliro ly'e Mulago n'ery'Ensambya ge gategese okukebera abakyala ekirwadde kya Kkookolo wa Nnabaana, sukaali, pressure ne siriimu. Bano kibaweddeko olw'omuwendo gw'abantu abaze wakati mu nkuba. Kino bagamba kireeteddwa olw'obutabaawo malwaliro gamala ate mu disitulikiti eyo.
Mutoni ow'emyaka 54 y'omu ku bakyala abangi abazze okukeberwa era asangiddwa n'ekirwadde kya Kkookolo wa Nnabaana. Ono nno ate alina ne sukaali wamu ne pressure era ng'ali ku bujjanjabi. Kyokka kati agamba mweraliikirivu olw'obutamanya wa waagenda kujja bujjanjabi bwa Kkookolo.
Ku ngeri y'okufuna ddagala simanyi oba naalifuna ntya kubanga nviira mu kyalo ewalako nfuna sikirina.
Abakyala bangi mu Bulambuli balinga Mutonyi kyokka tebakimanyi olw'ensonga nti tebalina malwaliro gamala we bayinza kwekebereza na kufuna bujjanjabi.
Olumba luno lwasaasaana mu bantu naye lw'obutajja mu lwaliro tulema kutegeera.
Caroline Shelakti, omusawo ku Muyembe Health Center 4, agamba nti bangi ku bakyala wano tebamanyi bikwatagana na Kkookolo era nga tebagenda mu malwaliro kwekebeza.
We actually advise them to at least visit our health units for screening so that they come to know whether they really have the cancer or not.
Akulira ebyobulamu mu disitulikiti y'e Bulambuli, Dr. Ahmed Mulogo agamba nti okuggyako Kkookolo wa Nnabaana, sukaali ne pressure bazudde ebirwadde ebirala bingi mu bantu abazze okwekebeza.
Like infections that they were not treating. So it gives us an impression that many mothers have several conditions but they don't go for treatment.
Irene Muloni, omubaka atwala ekitundu kino, agamba gavumenti yeetaaga okuteekawo enteekateeka nga zino mu malwaliro agaliwo.
Kebera endwadde ezo ezitujjidde ennaku zino kiyamba nnyo okulaba nti tuba nti singa zivumbiddwa nga obudde bukyali n'ofuna obujjanjabi obumala omuntu oba abantu baba bawona.
Eyo nga tuvuddeyo waliwo abavubuka bamakanika nga batandise okuzimba emmotoka mu ngeri esamaliriza nga batandiseewo n'edduuka erizitunda. Omu ku bano nga ye Geoffrey Namanyi ow'emyaka 27 ne banne bwe boogiwazza obwongo batubulidde engeri gye bakolamu emirimu gyabwe egimanyiddwa nga okupimpinga emmotoka. Laba ebisingawo ku gguli lino.
Tony Lubega w'emyaka 14 mukozi mu galaji eno esangibwa mu kitundu kino eky'e Makerere. Yadde abavubuka bangi abali mu myaka gye bwe babulwa ensimbi ez'okusoma basalawo okwenyigira mu bikolwa ebimenya amateeka. Lubega yagamba nti si bwe guli, yasalawo okwegatta ku bavubuka bano abeegumbulidde erinnya kati mu kuzimba emmotoka zino abali b'ensimbi ze bettanira ennyo.
Nemesa okusoma sente waali tewali benensalawo njijja eno.
Lubega ne banne bwe bali mu mulimo guno bagamba nti teri yagujjamu nga yeeyagalidde wabula bonna baagutuukamu oluvannyuma lw'ensi okubakaluubirira.
Era tubavubu waffe nga tetulina ssente kati ndaba ngikola nfunamu obusenta ssente era n'emirimu gye tukola ndaba etambula bulungi era ebintu byonna birungi nnyo teri kibi.
Kyokka nga bwe bagamba nti ogutateganya teguzza nvuma, bano mu kiseera kino beeyagala oluvannyuma lw'okuzuula akakodyo ak'okuzimba emmotoka zino ez'eswaga ng'enjogera y'ennaku zino.
Tulina mukama waffe omu eyatweta mmotoka ye yenga bumayiti muno mu Kampala ayagala ekintu ekiri different kufaananiza banne kati ffe
twali tulinawo obwongo obukola naye nga tetulina kyetukolako tetulina nga tetulina omuntu asobola twesiga tuwa mmotoka yo okola ki okolako.
Abavuzi b'emmotoka bangi babadde beegomba nnyo emmotoka zibalaba e Bulaaya ssaako n'ezo zibalabye mu firimu era nga kati bangi batandise okweyuna abavubuka bano.
Waliwo abantu abamu nga basobola okikola naye nga tebasobola kugenda wa bweru ogenda kuzinona okugula mmotoka ezo ate ng'eri baziseera tugamba at least nafe katutandike ekyafa wano kati fe tuba tulaba ku mmotoka kisinzira mmotoka yo gy'oleese ne tulaba ki kye weetaaga bw'oba olinako ebifaananyi bye weegomba ku mmotoka ku neeti n'otuleetera ebifaananyi ebyo ne tukola ekyo ky'oyagala.
Geoffrey Namaanyi agamba nti talinnyangako mu ssomero naye ng'ate y'omu ku abo abeesigamiddwako ennyo mu kuddamu okuzimba emmotoka zino omuli n'ezo ezirabirwako nga zivugibwa abakyakaze baffe.
Wabula nagenda mu gaaji okuyiga kugolola naye otwatuuka mu ggolo manyi okugolola okwo ne bw'ogenda mu institute zonna teriyo koosi ya panel beating teriyo.
Kyokka yadde nga basobola okuzimba emmotoka obulungi n'eddawo bagamba nti beetaaga okwegatta n'abo abasobola okuyiiya sipeeya w'emmotoka munda kibayamba okwanguya omulimu gwabwe.
Sinaba kufuna omuntu omukugu naye waliwo omuzungu eyavudde ebweru mu America yazze wano ng'ali kwagala tukolagana naye yakola interior zenkolebwa bweru.
Ekimu ku bisinga okubasanyusa kwe kusanga emmotoka ze bakozeeko ng'abantu bazeegomba. Namaanyi agamba nti kati aluubirira kukola emmotoka eringa ekikola ky'ennyonyi eneesobola enguudo za Uganda. Dini Lubowa Sava, NTV ku Sawem.
Kale kanteeketeeke naye ngende empipinga eyange ndi eswaga ng'enjogera ennaku zino bweri. Tugenda maaso oba tugenda swatu omulimu katono mu kudda tukumuna ebivudde mu nsiike y'ebyemizannyo tova ku NTV.
You can bring everybody in parliament as long as they can wake up and vote for the NRM.
As long as the voters exercise their rights to elect their leaders, there was no need for term limits in Uganda.
I know him. I know how he operates. I know how he thinks.
There are ways you can go around these obstacles.
Why should I conduct myself as if I am Muyai?
It's absolutely true. I admired President Museveni.
Is the ICC a fiscal code targeting African leaders?
You cannot tell me that the whole trouble Kenya had revolved about only the two individuals.
The money is not in the budget of this financial year.
You can't beat God. You see, God is polygamous also. Look at Jeremiah chapter 31.
The security of this country will largely depend on the contribution that the people make.
NTV, turning on your world. Today's highlight with
New geisha with extracts from Mother Nature.
Let me give you some piece of advice. If you could, you would leave the country once and for all. Because you are a user who is only out there to satisfy himself. And don't you forget, we treated you like family.
This is man to man. Against my better judgment, I'll suggest you work with Evelyn.
Mike, my mom always wants what's best for us. That's why she uses New geisha with extracts from nature. New geisha with extracts from Mother Nature.
And the change of government won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals setting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say there shortly. Me, I'd be looking to sell. At what price? More. Much, much more. I don't know who you are or how you know these things, but one thing I'm sure of, you're in the wrong job. Here, call me tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to hear more from you. You're watching Morning at NTV.
Every morning you have two choices: to continue to sleep with your dreams or to get up and chase your dreams. But today, we'll excuse you so you can have enough time to make that choice, because many of you are still in the festive season of Easter. Ultimately, it's a winner for most of the Christians around the world, because the Savior is risen. He defied death and rose again after 3 days. Morning at NTV is the only show right now, and we want to say what an awesome privilege to be with you this morning. My name is Brian, Simon, Joel, Mabel, and Brian Tuka today joining us in the place of Isma, who's not feeling well. Well, let's get started with the question of the day. Good morning. If you read your Bible, definitely that question will be very simple. Head over to our Facebook page, Morning at NTV, and also use our Twitter platform at Morning at NTV. You can tag at NTV Uganda, but also at MB Gold 2, at Kasiata, Joel Senyonyi, at Mebkeb. And you can also use the SMS platform. Send that answer to 6565, and you can walk away with a beautiful mug from Morning at NTV. Later in the show, the press review, some of the stories that are making headlines coming up with Mabel. Good morning, Mabel.
Good morning, Brian, and a very good morning to you too. Happy Easter Monday. I bet most of you are watching from home. Now to the news-making headlines. Christians around the world yesterday celebrated Easter, and the people on the slopes of Mount Elgon risk being hit by landslides as the rains continue to pound the countryside. And UPDF's publicist in South Sudan tells NTV that the army could not prevent a recent attack on a UN camp.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Christians around the world have celebrated Easter Sunday, a day in which their patriarch Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead. In Uganda yesterday, thousands thronged worship places to celebrate this day, which bears a lot of symbolism in their faith. Solomon Kawesa with this report.
Christians from all walks of life thronged churches to commemorate the important day on the holy calendar when Jesus resurrected from the dead. At Namirembe Cathedral, the service was led by Bishop G.T. Luwagla. Luwagla's message to the flock largely centered on honesty amongst the Christian faith.
In all, whatever we do, we must aim at telling the truth, because it is the truth that sets us free.
He also denied allegations of planning to retire from church.
The Bishop of Namirembe does not stay at Namirembe. In fact, he said, maybe he or she, he said, he does not stay in the church house. At first I said, yes, I don't stay on Kampala Road where the church house is. But what he meant, that I don't stay at Namirembe. But if you went there and you ask even the literal child, who would tell you there is no single day when I have not stayed at that house.
Mass at Lubaga Cathedral was presided over by the Kampala Archbishop Dr. Cyprian Kizito Luwanga. Different dignitaries attended the service in which Kizito Luwanga called upon believers to respect women.
Women were second-class citizens in the biblical times. Their testimony was not even allowed in court. Yet the Bible says the risen Christ first appeared to Mary Magdalene and the other holy women. Even the apostles did not believe Mary when they told them the tomb was empty. Jesus, who always had special respect for these women, honored them as the first eyewitnesses to his resurrection.
best time for me because it represents the resurrection of the Lord, and it gives us a reflection to our lives. The time when we have to remember our sins, forget about the past, and repent.
In today's Mass, I'm very pleased that the preacher preached about forgiveness. Like, even if a person wronged you a long time ago, the preacher said that you have to forego and forget all the problems.
It's the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and whatever that has happened in this Holy Week is meaningful to us.
As the rains continue to pound the countryside, those living on the slopes of Mount Elgon risk being hit by landslides. However, the local leadership in the landslide-prone Bududa district blame government for the people's continued stay in the risky areas. Sudhir Vyarhanga with this report.
These rugged hills of Bududa district were hit by massive landslides in 2010 that left hundreds of people dead and many homes destroyed. The disaster struck again 2 years later in Bunakasala parish. 6 people were buried by the landslides along the slopes of Mount Elgon after a heavy downpour. Mid this week, the National Environmental Management Authority warned residents of Mount Elgon area of a recurrence of landslides given the extreme weather conditions.
Are you aware that there are even fresh cracks in Bumayo, Kasabu County and Bukalasi and also Bushi? These cracks are a time bomb.
But hundreds of people, including those who were relocated to Kiliandongo district, have returned to live on the slopes of Mount Elgon.
Some of the people have continued to stay in the perilous areas where the disaster struck in 2012, still have a belief that it will take more than 5 decades for the same to reoccur. Thus, they still have enough time to buy.
The district disaster management committee that could have actually managed this kind of situation. But we are completely stuck naked financially.
But I hear that kind of story being peddled, even by some political leaders. They peddle it without any facts at all in their fingertips. I can only take anybody who wants to confirm to Kiliandongo, unless these people are ghosts and their original ones have gone back.
The LC5 chairperson of Bududa, John Baptist Nambeshi, says the Ministry of Relief and Disaster Preparedness received 8 billion shillings for buying land to relocate the landslide survivors to safer areas within the district.
Actually, they are in advanced stages of procuring land within Bulambuli sub-county. And this would be moving, like if they were to resettle the people of Ruda in Bulambuli, it would be like removing them from a frying pan into the fire itself. Because Bulambuli is much worse.
4 billion that was released was used for some emergencies like a supply of food, which is because Minister of Finance cleared it. They will continue every financial year. They will continue releasing money for the procurement of land.
The search and rescue efforts of the 2012 disaster were hampered by long delays in getting excavators to get the survivors out of the mud. The police and army officers had to use rudimentary tools to carry out the search. But the local leaders are upset with government for taking long in setting up a fully equipped emergency center.
Emergency center is there. Unless you want to see the office of the Prime Minister.
Do you have excavators?
Stores, for example, are within the offices of our Red Cross. You see, I want my people also to appreciate that we can't do construction all over the country in one go. We are putting up a NECOC, National Emergency Coordinating Center, in Kampala. Then we shall have branches.
According to Echeru, the ministry is supposed to receive 8 billion shillings to acquire land in neighboring districts of Bududa. The acquisition is being handled by the Permanent Secretary from the Office of the Prime Minister, along with the Uganda Lands Commission.
If they conclude that, I'll be very, very happy to start resettling people tomorrow.
Statistics from NEMA show that over 500 people were killed by landslides since 1970. Sudhir Vyarhanga, NTV.
The UPDF publicist in South Sudan has told NTV that the army could not prevent a recent attack on a UN camp in Bor, Jonglei State, where youth from the Dinka ethnicity attacked and killed 50 people, largely from the newer community. While speaking to NTV on phone, the UPDF spokesperson, Captain Isaac Owari, says the army is not mandated to enter the UN base. At least 58 people were killed and over 100 injured following the attack on a UN base.
Unknown armed group sneaked into the UN camp and they killed some internal specific people's persons in that camp. And UN has the mandate to protect the civilians within its premises. In our areas of responsibility or jurisdiction, the situation still remains calm and returning to normal. Since that incident happened, we have not yet had any other counterattack or any other offensives. The NTV are not mandated to go there. We don't have the authority or an order operating in areas of Jonglei, Eastern Equatoria, and others. Not the NTV.
Morning at NTV continues. Right now, the press review with Simon, Joel, and Brian. Press review
is brought to you by
Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Arise and shine. It's a Monday morning, not just an ordinary Monday morning. It's Easter Monday. Yes, we're coming to you live from the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel. Myself, Simon Kasiate. Without my traditional specs, I can hardly look at you. But you can understand what Easter Sunday really did bring unto us. And we wish you a happy Easter belatedly. And of course, welcome you to this wonderful edition of Morning at NTV's Press Review on Easter Monday. What's the day today? It's the 21st day of April 2014. And together with Brian and Joel, we are looking at the red pepper. Yes, what a Monday without a red pepper. And of course, the Daily Monitor. No copy of the Observer yet, but all this is brought to you by Uganda Telecom. Good morning, and how was Easter?
Easter, it was, went to see my mozo yesterday, had a scrumptious meal, pork. There's a way God created that animal with one heart like this.
Please do not offend those
we have some good people that do not eat the ipsum. I'm told, it's in the shape of an ipsum, like this guy's. So
but I'm also told that you can use the pigs to make a bomb.
So what are you trying to insinuate? You can use a pig to make a bomb.
Or you get them movie.
How does that work?
Those who have a higher propensity for using bombs don't actually eat them. The Daily Monitor this morning, Clergy.
I was trying to get out of him, but
I was wise enough. Simon is the guilty party now.
Clergy in Uganda are running all of us for the ID registration. Yes, the Easter message across the country resonating from the Anglican, Catholic, and all the other churches that celebrated Easter yesterday is rallying all Ugandans to embrace this whole exercise of registering for your national ID, which I am told, according to the adverts moving around, having a national ID is easy, is enjoyable. How enjoyable? You can only get to know if you get yourself onto the line at your local parish, ascertain that you're Ugandan and above 16 years of age, and before you know it, you'll have your ID in your pocket.
It is said here, religious leaders endorse the exercise, but caution government against using information obtained during the ID registration to invade the privacy of its citizens.
What, you're saying that we must take tea but do not swallow it, or what? I mean, why do you think governments take information from others? If Google, Yahoo, even Facebook gather your information and can use it against you at some point when it's very convenient for whoever owns it, what do you? What they?
Yeah, but there've got to be boundaries, really, because this information. I mean, previously you've seen people's privacy being infringed on again and again to levels that are unacceptable.
Well, if it is the Catholic Church that warned against the level of privacy, let them concentrate on matters of penance. You know, in penance, you go to a priest, you pour out your heart to him and tell him how you've been robbing from the same church, and it's upon them to just keep quiet, never to say a word. That's church business. State business is they gather information, use it.
That's when, business.
What do you want the state to do, Joel? What questions do you want them to ask? Basic name, age, and then where you work, and that's it.
And I'm told somebody was feeling under that beating.
Now, yeah, I know where you're going. This is Easter Monday.
No, but look, let them get the information. Let them use it well. I think that's the point that's coming out from everybody. There has, unfortunately, developed a huge lacuna between government, the trust between government and the citizenry. You don't want to have that kind of scenario. You want to have trust. You know, people can trust the government, give them information, well knowing it's going to, you know, come heavy on terrorists and look out for all these bad guys, as opposed to they're not very bad guys.
Well, these guys are working throughout even the public holidays. The ID registration
what do you expect?
is
They're
going
spending over an hour on one person. When shall we finish this process? By 2016, we might not have done half of it.
I am not going to join the chorus of deliberation, but we are only hoping that these guys actually mean business. I haven't yet lined up to pick my own ID. I have no idea where I'm going to pick it up.
I'm still
but
afraid.
From here, I intend to use today's public holiday to go and check out my name.
But we should.
And
we
should be able.
register.
I have every proof now that I am Ugandan and I'm about 16. Talking about Easter prayers, yesterday the Prime Minister, the man that's been in the news for the last couple of months, and I hope that he's watching us from his nice palatial home in Karobeizi in Kanungu district. Well, yesterday, you, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, told churchgoers at your local church that those who are against you should leave you alone, and that if you make the decision to stand for any electoral position, nobody can stop you.
There's no devil in it.
And then, of course, he told we, the youth, that we should even focus them more now. In all this, we should be more focused because they, the old generation,
have played their role.
Signing
Let
out.
me actually read it verbatim here. For the youth, you should be focused because we, the old generation, will soon leave, and we are banking on you to take over because we have already played our role.
I want to believe that entire statement, except the word soon. When I say we will soon leave,
they should define soon.
I mean,
but his wife saying, when you're a leader and you fail to tell the truth, you let the people you lead down.
That's very good. Now,
yeah,
so is it let's first discuss this whole thing of leaders of tomorrow. When these guys came shooting their way to parliament, I was in P1. Of course, we were singing, welcome back to the leaders of tomorrow.
You're still singing the same song.
I have gone through the motions, gone through school.
You can actually tabulate Kasate's age. 85,
no,
that's
Now, I have become an adult of sound mind. I am also planning a handover peacefully within my little home because now I have got children who can take over from me.
Yeah.
But something doesn't seem to change at the top. So how can I believe the word soon in this statement?
No, it's like Jesus is coming back, Asiate. Take it in that context. Are you kidding me? He's coming back soon. And we've been waiting. We are going to die, probably. Well, I hear the 4 blood moons are starting to show, and we may never see that. But that's the context. Soon is relative.
This guy is comparing Jesus to our rapacious leaders.
No, it's the definition of the word.
Why do you call it? The man is there gazumping them and lampooning them with those so many words. Well, there it is in the Daily Monitor. This morning we also wake up to the story of an HIV negative man who's suing Lubaga Hospital for having subjected him to ARV treatment for 15 years. This man allegedly was diagnosed HIV positive in 1999 by a small little facility called Adventist Medical Center. Gave him HIV positive results. He went on to Lubaga Hospital. Diligently has been living positively for the last 15 years, and now only to realize he's HIV negative. Not because he's been cured of the 15 years of pump action of ARV treatment, but in fact from the tests carried out, it looks like he's never had the virus at all.
And that is why nowadays, if you're to do this, you need to retest and retest like 6 times to be very sure, because there are mistakes like that one. But there are also people you find this couple is about to get married and one of them is positive, and that very person connives with the clinic. We've had that a lot. And they produce for them negative results, unfortunately. So you need to do it again and again and again.
Now for me, this is a bit of strain. You're negative, you're diagnosed positive, you're subject to ARV treatment religiously for 15 years.
15 years.
It turns out you are
negative.
I mean, the guy has already subjected himself to enough antibody reinforcement that even if you are subject to the virus now, I think to just find a stone wall. I don't know. Anyway, this is not a joking matter, but there we are. It's a tale of negligence in our health sector, and this happens across the board. You've heard of people who go for surgery only to realize 2 years later that they left a knife or a pair of scissors in them. I mean, we saw someone who died and was cremated at the crematorium here in Kampala, only for the mourners as they were gathering the ashes to find a little musimeno, a little soul, and that clearly could have meant that it was left in the body of this person. So it's clearly a sign of negligence. And
15 years ago, did we have the expertise to correctly diagnose? Even right now, say in Kalangala, I know a lady whose results in Kampala were negative. And when she went to Kalangala, She was positive.
The thing is,
So
what
she
happened
tested-
between her journey from Kampala to Karanga?
Did she do anything on that, you know, board?
But it takes about 6 months for the growth of that virus and for it to be detected.
But the tests can tell you if you had it last night. Well, I do not know. We are not going to subject ourselves to a discussion of science which we are not sure of. Perhaps one day when I bring a medical personnel here who's got the science, we will possibly put these questions to them. Well, the entire page 4 and page 5 of the Daily Monitor is dedicated to what came out of church yesterday. If you missed out church, at least I'm sure you did not miss out the live telecast of NTV's church edition that came in from Our Lady of Africa Church, Mbuya.
His Excellency the President says here, NADS money has done nothing. That's according to His Excellency the President. We have, as a country, pumped in 150 billion shillings. This was over the weekend at one of those churches.
He has been saying the same thing for the last so many years, and the same government which he superintends over continues to pump in money in NADS. So is he just realizing it now? Let him stop the program now. I mean, if you know that this is an abyss.
The program.
I mean, you know, the Christ whose resurrection we celebrated yesterday was very clear in his sermon. If your eye leads you to sin, pluck it out. If your arm leads you to sin, chop it off. If NADS is bleeding this country's coffers,
stop it.
Stop it.
Well, there are some people who are benefiting out of this. You know, look at the people who have been employed. There are NRM cadres, those who have lost in their NRM primaries.
Then he has no locus standi, as the lawyers would say, to wake up every morning to waste our space in the newspapers, lamenting and crying over NADS. He put it there as one of his machinery for patronage. So
he has the capacity to call it off. You know, I was looking at the MPs going around and giving out money, young people lining up for 5,000 shillings. And I was thinking, look, actually, if you are to deliver and do a good job as opposed to the lackluster work we see all over the country, you don't need to run around campaigning and giving people money. Just deliver on a good job. I hope politicians can do that.
I saw a headline that I thought was a real big joke, that the presidential bid for 2016 is being refused in the villages, and I thought to myself, is this something to which?
Yeah, there are some people.
I started asking which villages are those, because no one in the villages thinks that there's a better option other than the president.
There are people who are beginning to realize, you know what, I think we are in for a road deal. We've expected better. 11.5 trillion shillings worth of promises since 1986, we are told. People are beginning to realize, look, I think we need to have some of these fulfilled. Yeah.
Promises, I mean, this is the whole dependency syndrome.
No, we are talking about government delivering. You cannot make your road, by the way, even if you want to. You know, I know of many people that have tried to work on their roads, but KCCA says, no, you cannot. We are talking about government delivering on their services as a result of you and I paying taxes. We expect certain things to be done.
They deliver, and that's what I'm telling you. You and I pay taxes. The money is picked up by our local MPs. And the second, you saw those villagers lining up somewhere in Iganga. Those are people you call hard work.
Iganga, that's the place they took sacks of money to.
I keep telling you here that we have a class of Ugandans, and sadly, the majority of who just sit back, fold their arms. All they do is go to sports baiting parlors. They watch us on TV, just waste time doing nothing. And then
they're not wasting time watching
that. Really, to be honest, some of them are doing precisely that.
No, hopefully they'll learn one or two things as you throw these jabs at them.
See, TV programming has been there for decades, and the quality of our workmanship has continued going down. So what have we been doing? I think we also need to re-examine what we tell people on TV or in the mass media. Is our message actually translating people? We tell them, wake up in the morning, go do yourself some decent hard work. But we were just waiting for politicians to come around and offer them handouts.
Which is very important,
on TV. And for me, the story was not so much of, oh, look at the politician who was gathering some 3,000 people lining up to get some 500 shillings from a politician. The story is, how do you sit back and all you're waiting for is a politician to come and give you a hand?
Let me try and cut slack for some of these people. Of course, I do not condone laziness and people just sitting all over the place. But look, on an annual basis, this country churns out 400,000 people into the job bucket. How many jobs are available? About 9,000. So where are all the other?
The famous story of 3,000 people applying for a job
yesterday,
where they just needed 8.
Yesterday, yes, they needed 8. And I was actually seeing some of them walking in this morning. I don't know whether the program is continuing. And you're thinking, well, yes, there are some people who are lazy, but there are well-meaning Ugandans that would like to work and get a fair pay for their work, but the jobs are not available, and we need to do something about it.
Maybe the well-meaning Ugandans are 1 out of 10.
We are talking about 400,000 Ugandans, young people that are churned out into the job market on an annual basis.
But we can largely debate that of those 4,000, 400,000, maybe 200 are the only ones who you can employ in your
but you only have jobs available for 9,000, so how are you going to prove that the others cannot work hard enough?
Joel, about proof, I mean, you've walked into restaurants and found young girls working as waitresses, young boys as waiters.
There's one I walked into that had a writing,
Joel.
Should I say it?
Well, there we are, but the kind of client care they offer you.
They offer customers care instead of customer care.
I mean, it's as if they are doing you a favor. So many people are looking, you see how they are running around looking for jobs? Give them the job today. Then they start acting like they are doing the job a favor.
Not for
and
everybody.
for me, listen, I can tell you, majority of people, so there may be unemployment. Fair enough, no one denies that. But I think the biggest problem is unemployability. Most people
I agree with that.
There's
There's a bit of that. You talk about restaurants. I've walked into a few and they treat you like your presence is good, but your absence is better. There's even a reading, in God we trust, all others must pay cash. I'm thinking, okay, that's all right, you know, but some do not treat you very nicely. But there are others that try and do a very good job.
Let me just bring a more, I think, more serious story.
From the red
annoying
pepper.
From the red pepper. And following the Kale leaks, hashtag Kale leaks. There's a story here why MPs can't indict General Kaihura. They've been forcing him to resign.
Were they in the bush?
So there are so many reasons here why it's not possible.
Well, there it is in the red pepper this morning, but looking at the Daily Monitor again, we are waking up to an interesting development. You know that in Uganda we've got one of the largest man-made lakes, dug and constructed in 1886, and this is the Kabaka's lake.
People can use their hands to dig that lake.
Well, they could even have used their mouth. For all I know that then traditional leadership was extremely draconian. You talk about the democracy here, but you do not want to hear the stories that came out from that era. But that aside, an interesting Ugandan businessman is making an attempt at reclaiming part of this lake, or at least the catchment area of this lake, and residents around this place. And of course, Buganda royalists are certainly up in arms. And which businessman are we talking about? We're talking about Lawrence Muchibi of the famous St. Lawrence Universities. Isn't this guy supposed to be a Muganda by tribe? And it's not always my habit to discuss people's tribes or nationality, but how someone of a certain tribe goes ahead to, you know,
attack the tribe.
Not attack the tribe per se, but I mean, it is quite you know.
I'm yet to understand the details of this story, but there's been many people that have encroached on that property and so on. He's being accused of that. I don't know how.
But when he comes out to discuss, he says, besides, who am I to encroach on the Kabaka's properties? The land those people claim that I'm encroaching upon is my private property.
He actually owns property.
I have no ill plans to kill off any wetland feeding into the lake. So clearly you can see there is an allegation and counter-allegation. This is a story that, of course, we'll be following for you.
With the lake, so it could be an accusation, I don't know.
Well, there we have it now, but let's not forget this is a 49-acre piece of land under water. I don't know whether my children's children will see this lake here, knowing how much reclaiming is done in this part of the country, but there we have it. In the Daily Monitor further, we know that while all of you are talking about this and that in the political arena, the opposition and the civil society organizations are not letting their gumboots, or their boots for that matter, down. They've taken the electoral reforms campaign to Bunyoro. Our dear good friend Olara Otunu, Dr. Kiza Besigye, and General
Mugisha Muntu. The police seems to be behaving themselves.
No, they struck a deal and they think they honor each other's word.
No, because they realize, okay, if the others are selling sole presidency, sole candidacy of His Excellency the President, why not? What is devilish about these ones going out?
But also maybe the police, for me in my head, I'm like, okay, let them do whatever they want because...
Wait a minute.
Because?
I will have to cut you short here. It's something that struck my... Chinese firm short of 2,500 workers for Karuma project. Did somebody stand here on this very pedestal and started lamenting that there are no jobs in Uganda?
Yeah, but you see, these guys, they usually bring their own guys to carry stones, Chinese and porters and that kind of thing.
It's here in the Daily Monitor. The Chinese company contracting the 600 megawatt dam on River Nile Karuma has said it is short of manpower to execute construction works. I can tell you, this is not only the story of this big farm here at Karuma. I have been struggling to put up a little shelter somewhere in my village. Do you know where I pick the labor from?
From Kampala.
Very good. You think that where I'm building it, there are no people?
Why aren't they building houses in your village?
Do you know who builds them? They are not locals from there. People carry labor from outside.
But why do you carry 2,500 Chinese and you bring them to Kampala?
No, listen, they have made it clear here. You Ugandans, Morondo, let's not be sentimental here. Let's first understand.
No, have you ever
these Chinese are crying foul.
Ugandan hospital in London recruiting Ugandan doctors?
I have
asked
Here they are. Ugandans not going for their jobs. I'll give you another classic example. You go to Kachira Sugar Works. A person will tell you that from the time Kachira Sugar Works opened up shop there in Busoga, they can count how many Busoga have worked there, like this on the tip of their finger. Yet they have got hundreds of thousands of other workers.
Busoga make more money fried chapatis
than working in sugar canes, and the snake finds you there.
No, we are going to be in problems with Busoga. but look, I mean, the other day government was saying we need 32,000 employees. I think the issue also is about qualifications. Many of our young people are not qualified for these jobs. Why? Because we are not investing in the quality of our population. We are increasing the population as much as we can. We have
employability.
Exactly.
We are studying the quality. You know, let's get sharp young people, sponsor them to go abroad and study, do these courses, etc. But who are we picking? We are getting people that are related to us. Who's the uncle? They are my uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, girlfriends. I don't know what. That is not right.
Well, there we are now in the inaugural Baraza. The National Water and Sewerage Corporation did face some bit of questions from their customers who were accusing them of irregular billing and, of course, dry taps. Now, let's not forget that all this noise that has been made about these utility companies, of course, you know the trouble with the Umeme and how every Ugandan is saying, oh, to hell with Umeme. And everyone seems to say, but how come National Water and Sewerage Corporation does a tremendous job? But clearly, you can see that that is just a facade. National Water and Sewerage Corporation, for most of their customers, they are complaining. They are faced with dry taps and irregular billing.
Yeah,
so what's wrong with our utility companies?
Well, I actually don't know, but yes, I must agree. National Water is doing a better job than Umeme. For me personally, I get my bills.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me ask you, between electricity and water, which one is a human right?
Which one is a human right? Water is, and it's more of an essential, really.
Let's look at only Kampala. Are there more power lines? No. Who has more lines? Water lines or power lines?
I like to think.
If you look at our houses, do we have more houses with electricity than water? Or we have more
houses with electricity
than water?
So, National Water is doing a better job than Umeme, right?
You're asking me as a consumer. I get water.
People
can access water from a tap somewhere, but I can't go and tap electricity from
But you see, a right is that you must have it there. I cannot say that, I mean, you know that. And National Water, by the way, only supplies to towns. Other vast places, you've got to... The amount of... And you know that our water here, you drink it from the tap at your own peril. Even when you boil it, that's why the biggest business in this country, if you go to any supermarket, they are giving you water guard and all these other water treatment. Why are they doing that? Because the water is simply anyway.
So let's dare someone from National Water to come here and explain.
But you see, the point I am making, the point I am making is, you are here, gazamping Umeme and all that. They are supplying you better quality power and more quantity power.
We know, Simon, we know that right now your judgment
anyway, you need to serve your job. But let me read something here. As religious leaders were appealing for meaningful electoral reforms, the president here says, while he was launching the National Identity Card project, President Museveni said the electoral reform proposals were unnecessary because registration of all Ugandans of voting age will help create a data bank to eliminate multiple voting and other electoral frauds as well as related criminal offences. But you see, people have been drumming up again and again the biggest electoral reform they want is the way the Electoral Commission is constituted. Because you see, if these guys are going to be appointed by somebody going to participate in the elections, you don't expect much fairness at the end of the day. It's simple logic.
Absolutely. Now, I would like to appeal to many of you who will get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor or send for it from the comfort of your bed. You can read the next magazine, which is featuring the good old friend of mine, Prince Nakibinge, on his life beyond the royal title. And interestingly, the story is written by a one Abdulaziz Tumusime. Now, can we say that we shouldn't read this story because of a conflict of interest here? Because Abdulaziz Tumusime obviously is a Muslim, and Prince Kasim Nakibinge is famed as Jaja of Islam in Uganda. So shouldn't a Muslim reporter do a story on Jaja Obslam in Uganda because of the fear for
how this guy is escalating himself.
Is not a Muganda.
He is a reporter.
No, but yeah. So that's why I'm saying that when I sit here and start superintending over subjects that some of you think...
No, we can't.
Please allow me.
Authority to superintend over any discussion on
that's
power
what we are saying. The Electoral Commission does not have the moral authority to superintend over an election where one of the players is their boss. It just cannot happen.
Living healthy and they call it healthy living in the Daily Monitor. Immunization, what you should know. Yes, now this is of course a story that plays out into government's age-old clamor to have every Ugandan child immunized and of course following the proper immunization calendar. We obviously know that without immunization our children would never hit the 5-year birthday mark. And so this is an interesting pull-out that you should read for you young parents who have no clue what about immunization. And of course there are many more interesting stories with regard to sports, and there's also a feature on Entebbe, which was once Uganda's capital city, the first capital city. You've got to read about Entebbe. I know many of you know Entebbe because of the airport, but there's a lot more about Entebbe, and of course a lot more about Entebbe than just a mere state house, than a mere cannon at the roundabout somewhere, and of course the zoo. The zoo. Very well. And of course in society there's some very interesting stories that come to you from what happened in the social scene, including the attendance by the Katikiro to the Legends Ball at Governor on Friday. Were you there? If you missed, check out for the next.
Do not mix modern and herbal medicines. This is somebody writing a bit. You know, we tend to want to bring the two worlds together.
Oh, well,
we should.
Our good friend Isma Dakaba was telling us on our thread that he's now, I mean, he had some ailment here in Kampala where he was being subjected to proper medicine. But I think his traditional kolke is now he's in Iganga, subjecting himself to beetroots, cassava roots, all sorts of roots.
No, but you see, Isma, the doctor told him to drink a lot and the doctor didn't specify. So probably went and
we do not know what he drank. Let's take a short break. When we return, folks, we'll go in for the big story. Remember, it's Easter Monday, and this press review is brought to you by Uganda Telecom.
You can be a millionaire. Answer the phone, just answer the phone.
Yeah.
Answer the phone, just answer the phone. Don't miss that call. Don't miss loads of cash from Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Yo, check it out, check it out. Uganda Telecom gives you a chance to be a millionaire. Your next phone call can turn you to a millionaire.
Answer calls on your mobile or landline, and one of them could make you a millionaire.
Just receive calls on your Uganda Telecom number. You could win up to 1 million shillings every day.
The more calls you receive, the higher chances of winning.
There will be a winner every hour, every day. All you gotta do is just answer your phone.
If you call me now,
I can be a millionaire.
if I call you now,
You can be a millionaire. Answer the phone, just answer the phone.
Yeah.
Answer the phone, just answer the phone. Don't miss that call. Don't miss loads of cash from Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect.
Good morning.
How you browse. How you share. And how you interact with the world around you.
Your relationship with your God is the most important thing.
Have a company of people who have got a similar mindset.
How do you want people to think, feel, and act after your talk? In other words, what's your objective?
You inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
What's that?
That document.
Oh, that. Just some business.
I came to apologize. I have no right to interfere in your lives.
I've eliminated the only evidence that links me to Ivan Chinawa's death.
But you didn't have to kill another person.
It's not like I've got anything to hide, Nene. Just go ahead.
Victoria, how is it like to work for Miles Filagazi?
Blood seemed to matter not.
Blood?
Yeah.
one responsible for your father's death.
I'm gonna blow your mind and I'm gonna twist your taste buds. The flavors are already coming together. I can feel them. Very lovely, very appetizing, very powerful. Remember, the way you see it, the way you like it, is the way you get it from my kitchen to your kitchen.
Mikwano gyaffe bana NTV ate naddala mu bannaamu muli gw'emizannyo muli gw'ebyemizannyo gukomyewo 2014 ate mutya kati ate gukyusiza n'obudde gwa 7 gwali gwa 9 ne gugoberera ntusanyuka kati gubongereddeko wano malya g'ebyemisana awo gusooke gubatayize gubaleetire buli kintu kyonna kalonda ennawo by'emizannyo omuli gw'ebyemizannyo mupya 2014 Isima waali alagira Argentina yenjo mukubira eddiba lye omukwano kujja kukomawo ku muli gw'emizannyo naye kasita kinatuuka eri bano ba Messi okulumba abalenzi baffe ba Thiago Silva awo tewali mukwano omuli gw'ebyemizannyo 2014 President
Oda, I no go stop to the singing.
No problem. Keep singing. This singing will put you in trouble very soon. You won't believe it's the boy's father that inflicted such injury on him. Just because he stole 50 naira. 50 naira for that matter. That man should be arrested. Oh, how God. How I wish I could just see that man and give him a piece of money. Abigail, I don't care if you're chatting with Barack Obama. When you're at work, you learn how to detach yourself from that phone else to get you into trouble. Whatever. I mean, you should be happy that a pilot is asking your friend out.
My brother, I learned that 3 armed robbers tried to rob a man as he came out of the bank at the junction before the express.
Don't try to be the hero.
You won't kill me. Do you know how long I've been waking you up quietly and you refuse to wake?
Now you can't interrupt someone.
I'd like to pray with you, nurses, being the vessels that the Almighty God has been using to heal his people.
Okay. Can someone please talk to me? What is going on?
Who is she?
See, I hate cheating in my life. I hate cheating and nothing will make me have 50 kobo to that money I already get to you.
The average age of the international team is under 18 and so
the primary role of Team Uganda is to remain Division 2.
Probably that's the only thing that can make 1 or 2 rugby fans smile, that the Cogs are doing well.
The players haven't put on they haven't wore the game faces. They're not the animals we saw last season because Ferguson had the same group of players and he did deliver the Holy Grail, which is the title.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Oluvannyuma lwa lutalo abaana bangi batwalibwa ab'ekika era bulala basigadde
abamu bajja ne babakima
era twagende mu Lukoola eyo ina Kasongola mu Buluuri twagende mu Butale Babalaaro okubuuza omwana oyo mumanyi
nti mukwate obutonde obwekonkome mukwate obutonde bwa Ebola mubuteeke mu nsigo omuzungu ayogedde palamenti muyise bosi basajja
omulembe guno gutuusemu n'abantu n'entondo kati waliwo n'emyaka egy'entondo
waliwo yakiŋŋamba
bamugamba muŋŋambe bulungi kati munkwate empola
dokita buli akwata bayibuli eno
ajja kusomera bintu nga ye bwalowooza. For example, waliwo controversy yaliwo.
Tobeera mu ssuuti ate n'oteeka mu gganduula.
Olina kubeerako kimu.
Beerako kimu.
Kubanga okusomesezza tumaze emyaka 2 tusomesa bannayuganda. Eddembe lyammwe mulimanyi oluusi n'obusobozi obulina.
Olabira Abaganda baagala Kabaka.
Me. Oh, you give me way too much credit.
You know what? You got what you want. But what shocks me is that you don't care at all about Hakim and Lulu.
What was that? That was me trying to save the two of us. At the expense of someone's career? A man's got to do what a man's got to do to survive. All I need is answers.
How about you stay away from my reporters and stay away from my newspaper?
Hakim could be Mabel's son, but that's yet to be verified.
But where do you get all these stories from?
I'm a journalist, but what I don't buy...
If you spend less time on the phone, you should probably move up to speed.
Oh gee, thanks for the advice.
I am your mother, not one of your cheap whores, and you need to show me some respect.
What's that?
That document.
Oh, that. Just some business.
I came to apologize. I have no right to interfere in your lives.
I've eliminated the only evidence that links me to Ivan Chinawa's death.
But you didn't have to kill another person.
It's not like I've got anything to hide, Nene. Just go ahead.
Victoria, how is it like to work for Miles Vilagazi?
Blood seemed to matter not.
Blood?
Yeah, blood.
I'm responsible for your father's death.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
Many times you complain that we discuss very serious subjects, but for a very short time, at a time when you're also preparing yourself to go to work. Today, what excuse do you have? You're at home, you're relaxing, you're chilling, and you're watching NTV. This morning, we'll be discussing something of an intricate nature. We're talking about politics vis-a-vis money. The money that comes in to run the political game. The money that comes in to do development cooperation. The money that we all contribute to national coffers. We pay our taxes, don't we? But we also have development partners who come in with their purse sometimes, and we just got to realize recently that this money possibly comes with strings attached. And a few of these strings have been severed by some of us. We've signed into law some anti-homosexuality bill here. We are trying to ban this and the other. And for those who call themselves development partners, are not quite pleased with our actions. And so, many have put a zip onto their purse, possibly even a padlock. How is this playing out? That's a discussion we're having this wonderful Monday, Easter Monday morning. Sit back, relax, and let's take it in one at a time. We remember that this country finances largely its entire budget. Now we are talking about over 75%. However, for the most part, the rest is covered up by development partners. Now, when development partners pull the plug, it leaves this government with a deficit. And the only way the government can find a deficit is trying to tighten their belts on spending, but also trying to look for innovative ways of bridging this gap. This morning, we are joined by someone from civil society, someone who's going to break it up for us with regard to how they look at it, this whole situation of government finding itself in a state of quagmire without much of the help that was coming from the development partners. How are they going to bridge the gap? Join me in welcoming Julius Mukunda, who is the coordinator CS-BAG, which is Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, as well as Program Director at Forum for Women in Democracy.
Yes.
I would expect
a woman.
Absolutely. I wonder. Okay.
Men emancipation.
It doesn't go there.
Julius.
We all need men and women to promote gender equality.
Tell us, what do you make of this whole situation? Development partners coming in to cut aid because of our actions, but also not just because of the anti-homosexuality bill, but we also see development partners coming in to cut or even squeeze aid as a result of our corruption, as well as good governance issues and the like.
I think for me it's a wake-up call, not only for the government but for us as citizens. That
we've been waking up every day. There are so many wake-up calls here.
It's a wake-up call. Yes, sometimes you need people to wake up and say the situation is actually getting serious. It's not as simple as people talk about, oh, you can go and then we shall survive. And I think that's the statement. Whenever we say it, everybody says, oh, maybe we're okay. But when you find that you have a sector like health, which has more than 45% of its budget is coming from foreign support, and is only going into serious investments such as medicines, health centers, equipment, then for us we get to worry, who get into the details of the budget. And therefore, the way it is playing out is for us, you mentioned that we need to tighten our belts, that the government is going to tighten its belts, but our question is, we are not used to tighten our belts. For us, we spend endlessly.
We are like fishermen because the stocks are insatiable.
Very good. Actually, that's how it is. We just like we have a lake where you just get the fish anytime we want it.
Now the lake is getting depleted of the fish.
But the fish is no longer there. The fish that we are now actually getting the younger ones out of it.
That is the way you look at it, as from where you see the civil society.
Yes.
But now you've just explained the problem, which every one of our viewers possibly understands, even perhaps even more than you do. Now, how do we get out of it? How do we get mechanisms of getting out? Well, I think that's what's very important.
I think the mechanism of getting out is me and you, because I think what has happened for us as Ugandans is that there is this apathy situation that has come into us, where you have said, oh God, let's leave them out. Me and you to wake up and say, guys, come on, let's stop it.
But to do that is a full-time job, Julius. You have a job, I have a job, I have other things I'm running, I have, when will I get the time to go and start running after the government to start tightening their belts or not? I mean, aren't you putting so heavy a burden on the citizens' shoulders?
I do pay taxes. You do pay taxes, Simon. I pay taxes, you pay taxes. It's time we wake up. Actually, we are doing it in a small way, as some civil organizations are doing it in a small way.
How are they doing?
In the small villages. You go to a village like in some of our districts, for example, for which I work for, we mobilize communities into groups to begin monitoring health centers, primary schools, road networks in their areas. And we found that very successful, because once communities are organized and mobilized and trained to understand exactly what's happening, then they have the will and the capacity to begin to demand and say, that borehole, you promised us 3 boreholes, we have only seen 1. And by the way, even the third one is not functioning. Could you please explain why this is not happening?
And then, of course, I will pull out some money, give them, they will run after me. And they will leave it at that.
What will have happened is that, yes, there are those situations, but there are situations where people have said, no, this borehole, the money belonged to us, it was our entitlement.
Joe, when I bring you in at this point in time,
yes.
Isn't Julius here being too optimistic also? Isn't he thinking that Ugandans are so powerful? I mean, is he describing a Ugandan citizen or an American citizen?
That's not the typical one. If we are going to give you a bar of soap and you elect us and then we call you names, abuse you, when you try to ask for accountability. But as we was talking about, the way we are tethered to aid, I mean, what do you expect Julius, for example, to say? He still needs the aid around. Why? Because it affects him positively, directly, That is why he earns his pay. All these civil society organizations, they get their pay externally. But no. At the end of the day,
yes.
The other day I met a 50-year-old man.
Just a moment there. Julius, who pays your bills? Is it the tax
certainly not Ugandans?
It is not aid from Uganda.
That's the point. That's why you still want it around.
It's not aid from Uganda.
It's from where?
In fact, the aid that is being cut, remember, when they are cutting, what are they saying? They're going to turn it to non-for-profit, private sector foundation.
Those are very few that have said that.
So therefore, I should be supporting them to cut aid further.
Those are very few
At this moment, I'm saying, hey guys,
organizations, very few have said that.
Governments, we should be able to put our house into order, and then we get more.
Okay. Just before, Julius, yes. I even begin to question, why would you send this aid to civil society organizations? For example, if they sent it to you, are you above those?
Yes.
Are you above those very small little evils that bedevil government. Are you above corruption? Are you above nepotism? Are you above not tightening your belt? You are civil society.
They don't even pay taxes.
I'm not saying yourself, but I'm
we
saying
pay taxes by the way. Very
All
well.
of you?
All of us we pay taxes.
No. Julius, speak for yourself here, because
let me
I bring
correct
civil
no,
society
let me
organizations
correct
here
that
don't
one.
pay
Let me tell
taxes,
you.
you would be
In
embarrassed.
every society, in every group, there has to be a black sheep.
In your case, there are more black sheep than white, so.
So whether they are more or not, but I know that there are some who are not black.
Okay, you are a white sheep. Now tell us.
Clean. And
Are
there
you
are
black
black
and black trousers.
Oh, by the way, there is Black Monday.
Ah, I see.
Fighting corruption.
Well, I'm in a black suit. Hope.
Thank you very much.
And all my hair, at least the little that is still left, is black. But anyway, seriously, Julius, are you, civil society, I mean, can we trust that you would, for example, use better the money that comes in? I mean, if we are unable to stop the donors from cutting their aid and channeling it to people like you, when they give it to you, aren't you going to do exactly what government has been doing, perhaps even worse?
Let me just explain this to the listeners. Personally, and where I work from, we do not want a weak government. I have an example. We one time met development partners supporting agriculture sector, and while they are pleased because we were found that money going to private to Ministry of Agriculture was reducing, and I said, please support it. They said, where do you come from? This sector is weak. We give them money, they return it back. We give them a project, it can take 5 years. If you remember the irrigation projects, which they even have transferred to Ministry of Water. But I said, wait a minute, at the end of the day, we need the Ministry of Agriculture. Why? Because we need a center, we need an institution that will oversee how agriculture is going to be run. No civil society organization is going to run the government. It's not going to be there. Our job as a civil society organization is to oversee what the government is doing. And therefore, it is not in any of our interest that we should have a weak government. We need a district that functions, that can deliver services, not the one that is just there helpless, waiting for donors' money or waiting for government money. We need a strong government. And that's why for us, as we tell government, please, let's ensure that we have institutions that work. Let's ensure that we have quality services. Let's stamp out corruption, which is killing these particular services.
Right over there,
Yes.
Julia. That sounds very good, but does government listen to you? You've been singing this song for decades on. Does this government listen?
Perhaps they don't have the moral authority to, put government to task as well.
We do.
If we see, I think it's a good thing that civil society subs with what government is doing. When I look at some of you civil society organizations, you're doing the same things that you are lambasting government for doing. Look at I'm sure you came here with a fuel guzzler. You make noise about government officials driving these powerful machines.
But you drive
you might say, well,
with the red
it is not government money. But you see, how much more money are you sending out there to your activities as opposed to what you're using for the powerful cars? You
By the way,
conferences in powerful hotels like this.
You know what the good thing?
You
some of us on this
some of us
on this table, we are very, very familiar about civil society rules in terms of donor funding. Let me tell you, they will give you money and tell you 20% of that one is supposed to be admin cost, period.
So you
look at government expenditure, 50%, 50.7% of it is consumption expenditure. Do you know the reason they are giving? No. You can't believe it. They are saying, oh, we have invested a lot, so we are going to do operational maintenance.
No, you see, your donor money may come and say 20% is earmarked for administrative purposes.
Yes.
But in actual expenditure, you'll find that about 80% is admin and the other 20% for you people to run your operations and all that.
20%.
That's what is on the
and
book.
I'm telling
That's
you,
what is in the book.
I'm telling you of the donors I know. And with this, of course, when you say that Uganda is corrupt, but you know what happens? Everybody, including civil society, they will say, all of you, so stringent. 20%. Salary, your salary, your rent, your water bills, whatever, 20% capped there.
This Simon,
and for me, is that let's take it back to government. In terms of, you see, the other part is that people look at civil society and say, these guys, you are driving because you have hotels, powerful checks, you're on a talk show like this. You're on a powerful talk show like this one.
Perhaps even paid for.
But let me tell you, I wish I could even pay for this if we had money. I wish I could pay for it. But let me tell you, one of the organizations I know that will pass it, like I work for Forum for Democracy, that we go to those villages to organize women.
So you're saying one of the organizations is yours, eh?
Yeah, the organization I work for. forum for me democracy.
Yeah, as if we could expect any better. I mean, you are supposed to talk good about organization. I'm not necessarily saying it is all bad. But no, Simon, you say when I look at civil society organizations, I think we are still tethered to this whole dependency syndrome. And we need to see how do we extricate ourselves from it, because the guys that give these guys money, they've got interest, and at the end of the day, these guys have got to fulfill their interest here.
The guys who give us money,
I think you're trying to do a fairly good job. Let me give you some credit here. Let me give you some credit. You guys are trying.
This man here is raising a very important point.
Yes.
You have donors whose donations come with strings.
Without a doubt.
And you're supposed to be their local agents here. And then at the same time, and some of their strings could be to weaken this government.
It's not
and here you are,
gets better.
Yeah,
it's not.
And here you are claiming you want a strong government, and you at the same time antagonizing or biting the hand that feeds you. I do not want even to predict doom, but if what you're saying you mean, clearly you may not have funding in the next couple of years.
Let me tell you, there will be donors who have their strings, and some NGOs will go for it, and some will not. I will not talk about those who will go for it or not.
Yes.
I will talk about those I know and those I work for. That you will apply for a grant and say, I want to promote community budget monitoring and service delivery tracking.
What do you call it?
Community budget monitoring and service
usually have terminology and the budget for each of them.
Do you know
what building, community, I don't know, empowerment.
You see what happens for us centered here in the campaign say that they say, oh my God, NGO jargons. But it's not. Something very simple. Mobilize, organize communities to go and monitor a service.
Don't I live in a community? How come you have never seen me in my community area in Buyapa?
Neither have I. And we want to see
if
results
the government had not
created
created 112 districts, probably I would have come here to Kampala. But by the time, let me tell you, I was in Paris, they split into Lubudaka. As I was trying to organize myself in Paris, then they split again into Chibuku. Now I think they're even planning to split it further. So where can I be?
No, but you see, so splitting it, splitting it doesn't mean that that's a political demarcation, but the geographical area is still the same.
Serious implications.
What do you require the visa to move from Chibuku to Paris?
Let me tell you, serious implication. The moment I'm in Paris and split from Chibuku, now that means you have a different chairperson, a different cow. To start a project, now you have to seek permission from that particular district again,
and then seek more funding.
There
we have it here, civil society organization.
Necessary evil. The other day I met a 50-year-old man who was telling me he's an orphan. Now I wanted to pull this guy's ears because I was thinking, how in the world is that possible? Uganda is 51 plus years old. For goodness sake, we need to move away from aid, we need to move away from funding. We need to slowly but surely give the civil society organizations a break. How? Let's empower our communities. Let's begin to do things better, because
you also know civil society organization. How do we empower our communities?
We need to do that. Government needs to ensure that they do it.
But you see, you will never run away from that. You will never run away from getting our communities organized properly, empower them, provide them with the right information.
For starters, pay teachers well so that they do not attend class once a month.
Yes.
So that our children are well empowered.
Well, there we have it. I think we need to take a short break from here. When we return, it's Simon Says. Well, you've heard them. They're described as a necessary evil. They are supposed to carry out all the monitoring, evaluation, the mobilization, you know, all these organizing, they call them stakeholder, capacity building, best practices, empowerment, all that can be wholly described as NGO jargon. The question is, beyond just making these high-sounding statements and carrying out a number of motivational speaking seminars and symposia, call them whatever it is, do they actually do some work on the ground? The challenge that we have before us is a government that is, of course, on a wanton spree to spend even what they do not have. Civil society charges itself the moral authority of looking out for us and seeing that government does spend prudently and spends within its means. The question is it a case of the pot calling the kettle black? Do we have civil organizations that are not above the very small evils that governments are charged of, namely, among others, corruption, incompetence, and the like? It's a debate that will rage on for years till cows come home to roost. But we can't run away from it. We'll always engage it, because we'll need civil society organizations, obviously, because as citizens, we do not have the conglomerated mass action that is required to move these things. So right about now, we rely heavily on civil society. The challenge, though, is, are they out there to do our billing, or are they doing the billing of those who pay their bills? That's the $1 million question that I leave you as a food for thought on this wonderful Monday morning. Easter Monday, the 21st day of April 2014. Have a blessed day. Whatever this week takes you, keep it profitable.
Pull it up. Expose. My name is Cuts, aka Mr. Showbiz.
Hey, today listen, when I'm in Uganda, I only listen to DJ Baby Love.
When you're dancing on the light, girl walk out, your body down no fly, your fingernail them no fever. You have a problem with it?
No, I ain't got no problem.
You don't use my mic, man. This is exposed mic.
I go deal with you personally. XFB, it's officially back. Yeah, I'm in this heaty with cats. This what we do, baby. Put UG on the map. Now come out, whoa. Now come out, whoa. Now come out, whoa. Now come out, whoa. Hey.
Tadi Muganda yagala munne kututumuka abanyankole mweyagalidde mu Kampala abajja okulonda mwafuna mu bibanja
I'm that dude, though they come and love it.
You're going to start paying for watching Exposed.
I wasn't born last night. I know these hoes ain't right.
Are you and I ever gonna have a chance to be sisters?
You want the baby to have my name?
Would that be okay?
So I'm happy you came. Yes, especially since I thought you were shunning all things Newman. I have my own reasons for showing up.
What did you say about him?
I'm sorry, attempted rape.
Okay, look, whatever you think you know about him, you don't know his heart.
If there is a way to make me feel more miserable, you will instinctively find it.
You gave up the one woman you loved, and now you're having a hard time figuring out how to move on?
I can't imagine who would want to hurt a good man like you.
Okay, you know what? I don't need you telling me how to feel about Lily.
Are you pregnant? No. Then why are you trying to alienate Tyler?
Has something happened between the two of you? Are you afraid that I'm gonna do something to ruin your marriage, or that you will?
Why don't we have a party? I'll bring Nikki and bring your siblings. How's that?
Now, what are you gonna do? You gonna blackmail them this time, or are you gonna bribe them?
Looks like Mommy's not the only one who knows how to make up a story.
She was molested when she was 6 by someone she trusted.
The doctors finally walked into the door. They basically were telling me that she had a 5% chance of living.
I couldn't understand how somebody that tells you they loved you, that held you as a child, could abuse you.
Tommy Scott grew up among gang violence, drugs, and poverty in the projects of South Central Los Angeles.
I felt not normal, not good. I wasn't lovable.
As a teen, Melissa discovered that drinking gave some relief.
Tommy is free today and continues to tell people that it was Jesus who changed his life.
The time I spent in prison, I spent putting my ideas together on, how I was going to come back and make it all right.
And I realized my purpose, that I was created to reflect the glory of God.
Duke now realizes why God kept him alive.
These were real people facing desperate situations, just like you and me.
Jesus died to set you free, and he can give you a new heart.
Mikono gyaffe bana NTV ate naddala mu bannaamu muli gw'emizannyo muli gw'ebyemizannyo gukomyewo 2014 ate mutya kati ate gukyusiza n'obudde gwa 7 wali gwa 9 ne mugugoberera ntusanyuka kati gulongereddeko wano malya g'ebyemisana awo ose tugubatayize gubaletire kintu kyonna kalonda n'ebyemizannyo omulimu gw'ebyemizannyo mupya 2014 Isima waali alagira Argentina yenjo mukubira eddiba lye omukwano kujja kukomawo ku mulimu gw'emizannyo naye kasita kinatuuka eri bano ba Messi okulumba abalenzi baffe ba Thiago Silva awo tewali mukwano omulimu gw'ebyemizannyo 2014 President.
I was going to my hall, someone came from my back and was
how tugenda okwera kekiro yanga mwami omanyi wakeko nange omulundi gw'ogusembayo.
I went to the nurse and I asked why is it that our father is negative and for us we are positive.
Every time I find a story of assault of one person to another, I get disturbed.
Mwayombye ekiro lwaleeta suzeewo lwe bakwokezza nazeepoza kimu nti mujja wange yanjokezza
kino ekyafa kino kyali kyakulira muno mu lubuto.
The Irene I know
just loves music and loves to sing. I've never seen her even smoke a cigarette.
The days of legal trade in slaves are history, following its abolition in the 1800s.
They tie you like this. That's when I started getting past.
Everybody has a story, but yours will only become our story when you share it.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji and Brian Mulondo.
It's exactly 11 minutes after 8. We're still at the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel. And before the break, we had Simon Kasiate, Joel Senyonyi, and on the big story talking about some budget cuts and the role of civil society. Please help us, of course, with your feedback on our Twitter handle, Morning at NTV. Later in the show, we're also going to look at, remember, every Monday, well, for us here, while it's Easter Monday for you, it's business as usual. Every Monday, we look at how you as an entrepreneur or as an organization can save your business. We get people in here to give us some great business tips every Monday. So look out. We are going to equip you with how you can save your own business this morning. But of course, for all sports lovers, later Brian Tuka will also be joining us in the place of Isma, who is not feeling well, had a lot for Easter. And quickly going to Twitter, some of you are reacting to the press review that we are talking about the employability of most Ugandans, and you're saying in Uganda it's true many youths want to work, but the jobs are scarce. And Elsie Muha saying, I also wonder why they import labor, yet we have many people in Uganda that do the same jobs. We've also posted the African proverb where we need your feedback. Later in the show, we'll be sampling those comments. And there's been a hashtag going on, NTV Selfie Esteem. You can take a selfie of yourself also and post it on our page, Morning at NTV, and hashtag NTV Selfie Esteem. Later on, Mabel will be coming in with your comments on our Facebook page. Of course, some of you saying, wow, the lady in pink at Mebkeb, bring you the stories making headlines. But this morning, I'm also joined by Edwin from Go Green Campaign. Good morning, Edwin.
Morning, Brian.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
This thing has been going on around and around. People are going to plant trees on the bypass.
That's right.
Guys are excited. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. We're going to have a very wonderful event. It's going to be Tuesday, 22nd. That is tomorrow.
Okay.
And we have invited corporate institutions coming on board to take part, to see how they are giving back to society.
Right.
And we invited about over 70 corporate institutions, top corporate, including NTV Uganda.
Right.
So you guys, we expect you to be at the bypass. We're going to have planting competitions. Yes.
Tree planting competitions.
Tree planting competitions by corporate institutions.
Okay.
Every corporate company will be allocated space of about 1 kilometer to create your own signature forests. We call them signature forests because this is something we want you to brand at the end of the day.
Right.
This event is going to be officiated by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who will be accompanied by our patron, Right Honorable Speaker Kadaga. And so we have a wonderful event. We're going to have lots of activities coming up. We have entertainment.
Why did you choose the bypass?
The bypass.
Not you know, there are places in this city that need trees.
Exactly.
Why the bypass?
Now, the bypass is a starting point for the entire national road corridors. We're in partnership with National Roads Authority, and we have already earmarked over 1,000 kilometers of the roads. So we are launching from the bypass, and we shall roll out the program. We're going to plant trees on all our national roads. So the bypass, we wanted to show the public, especially the corporate institutions which are here in Kampala, that this is going to take place. We intend to plant about 10 million trees on over 1,000 kilometers of the roads. So beginning from Kampala to create a lot of awareness that this is going to have everybody get involved. The young people, the corporate institutions, the civil society institutions, everybody has to get an area to plant and create the forests.
Right.
We are doing this because we are looking at our environment. It's been so much degraded, as you're much aware. If you could look at the statistics, the deforestation rates are very high. Everybody cuts a tree, it doesn't replace it. So we are coming up as young people to reverse the trend, that at least let's bring back our forests that we have lost. That is why we are appealing to the public, and we are appealing to the corporate institutions who have resources at times, and they have budgets.
Right.
The other day we had the press conference at Parliament.
Yes.
We're happy that we also, in partnership with NTV, they have given us some coverage. We want to extend our thanks to the managing director, NTV Uganda still, who managed to cover the event. We had a very successful press conference, and the speaker put it clear that she appealed every corporate institution that at least you should adopt a road. You know? You adopt a road. NTV, grab a road. Create your forests. And I know by end of 5 years, we will not face again floods, the droughts you're seeing around. Everything is going to change.
Ordinary Ugandans also invited to the event
Exactly. Tomorrow.
What time?
Tomorrow we are beginning at 8. And we expect our chief guest, the president, at around 11. And kickoff of tree planting will take an hour from after the opening ceremony.
Okay.
So we're going to have a number of activities. We expect to do also VCT, voluntary counseling and testing. Along the way, there are going to be exhibitions. We have already like 50 companies which are going to be at the bypass.
Awesome.
Everybody is now free to exhibit.
Right.
Come show the public what you guys doing as you're planting a tree.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun. Young people are going to be there. All invited education institutions will participate. And so to you, Brian, you need to plant a tree.
I have a tree. I planted a tree on Masaka Road.
This is going to be the second, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. 10 million trees.
In 5 years.
In 5 years.
On 1,000 kilometers of the roads.
Awesome. Join the campaign. Visit Go Green.
Use Go Green. That's the website.
GoGreen.com.
Yes.
GoGreen.com to get more details. Otherwise, more than 50 corporate companies will be at the bypass tomorrow.
Yes. Musicians are going to
musicians,
the artists.
Apart from tree planting,
we have celebrity tree planting.
Celebrity.
Yes.
It's going to planting.
Definitely. He's on board.
I'll come and I'll show him that I'm not a joking subject.
True. Prove to him.
All right, so join the rest of the people tomorrow at the bypass and go plant a tree. If you can't make it, start at your home.
Exactly.
Put something in your compound, put something outside your gate. Start now. Otherwise, by 2050, we're likely to be a desert if we don't do something right now. Mabel is standing by with your birthday wishes and your Facebook messages. I'll see you later on Everyday Life. Good morning.
Happy birthday to you.
Imagine your birthday falling around the festive season. Well, if you were born today, happy birthday. It is Easter Monday, so I assume most of you are at home enjoying it. Would like to say happy birthday to David Bush, who works as the Aldous Pump System Electric at the Aldous Pump System Electrical Company. Happy birthday to you. Would also like to say happy birthday to Keza Emily, a student at MOOBS, and a very big happy birthday to Muha Caesar, a student at the Islamic University. I do not know anyone who tweets more than Caesar, and he has really helped us promote this show. He loves NTV. A very warm happy birthday message from us here at NTV, especially the crew at Morning at NTV. Well, now on to your birthday, on to your messages today. This was the press review that happened earlier. Some of your comments on Facebook, Fred is saying, instead of the president carrying sacks of money to villages, I think he should fully facilitate the available technical institutes to encourage innovation. This will answer Joel's question to avoid and control unemployment. Innovation is the way to go for Uganda. And someone says here that access to safe and clean water is a human right and MDG goal. Electricity is not. It is still viewed as a luxury. More investment is needed on water. This does not mean National Water isn't doing a great job. And Raymond says it is a great way to start his Easter Monday to some other messages. Someone, Keba Nathan, says, did you see the thousands of youth who turned out at Serena for the Qatar Airways recruitment on Saturday? Unemployment is really alarming. And we have Isaac Kavanza here saying that he's welcoming us back from the Easter weekend. We shall now turn back to Brian for today's HTC moment.
We started with the goal of bringing the power of computing into the hands of people around the world. From the beginning, we were designing many of the world's first touch and wireless handheld devices. Reaching out to our partners and setting no limits on innovation, we produced one of the most popular touch experience devices of the time. We were building smartphones before the term smartphone even existed. We then set out to make the most versatile smartphones, including ones that let you use either a touchscreen or a keyboard. We saw the potential of 3G early on and introduced the world's first 3G Windows mobile smartphone. We changed the way you use your fingers. Based on our research into gestures, we gave you the intuitive and easy-to-use HTC Touch. We then announced a new way for you to experience the internet with the world's first Google Android smartphone. To give you the most personal experience, we introduced HTC Sense, a user experience that fundamentally changes the way you use your phone by making things work the way you expect them to. We once more revolutionized the industry by launching the world's first 4G Android smartphone. We integrated Beats Audio into our phones to deliver the most authentic sound experience, enabling people to finally feel the music the way the artist intended. We created a one-of-a-kind phone with an amazing camera that outperforms most point-and-shoot varieties. Most recently, we once again set the industry ablaze with the new HTC One. Critics have hailed the new One with its full metal body design, a live home screen, photos that come to life, and dual frontal speakers as the best Android phone of the year. Curiosity and ingenuity have defined our history, and we're recognized by the industry as one of the world's most innovative brands. We've come a long way, but one thing hasn't changed. It's people like you that inspire us to create the most innovative products in a world that becomes more connected every day.
3 after 8, and we're still here. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're watching on your telly, especially if you're watching the show for the very first time, we're very glad that you're joining us. My name is Brian, and earlier we had Joel, Senyonyi, Mabel, and Kasiat on the big story. And this is Everyday Life, powered by HTC, quietly brilliant. And we've been giving out phones for the past 2.5 months, and now we're still giving out more phones. The question of the week is, name the presenters of Morning at NTV on April the 1st, 2014. The phone will be available to be won tomorrow morning. We'll be drawing the numbers. I guess, yes, people are still in the festive season, so somehow people from HTC were not available, probably on holiday, but we'll be giving out that phone tomorrow. Just make sure you answer that question. Send the correct names to 6565, or you can visit the HTC Hub at the Forest Mall and check out other models of HTC. There's the HTC One, there's HTC One Gold, there's the HTC 500, 300, 600, and I have the HTC One Max, which is the M8. Of course, regarded and confirmed as the best smartphone for 2013 at the World Mobile Conference. That's HTC, quietly brilliant. And coming up today on Everyday Life, do you know the value of your business? How do you compete when it comes to your competitors? But also, how do you make sure you understand the strengths of your business? Coming up. Stay with us.
It's the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. It stresses you out. It calms you down. It helps you remember. It helps you forget. It keeps you connected. It's the only thing you own that is always within an arm's reach. Which is why you don't need to get a phone. You need a phone that gets you. And you. And you. And we are HTC.
Everyday Life is brought to you by...
And we are HTC.
In a country where 83% of our youth are unemployed and most businesses not seeing their second birthday, today we're going to look at how you can make sure that you stay in business. And joining us is Robert Bakay from the World of Inspiration Stroke Authors Forum, which is more popular. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning,
Brian. I can see you're in the festive season, Chitenji, you know.
I love being African. Yeah.
Tell us about World of Inspiration. What did you do there?
World of Inspiration is a company that came to bring local inspirational solutions. I think for a long time, we've been blaming the whites for our suffering.
We're still blaming the whites.
Yes. And at the same time, we still go to the same whites, to the West, to look for solutions. But World of Inspiration believes that within us, we have the value that can be turned into resources, that can be turned into wealth, and so we can create our own solutions. So as World of Inspiration, we inspire people, one, through publishing and selling inspirational literature. So the best inspirational books around in Uganda, just check behind, you'll find World of Inspiration. We also organize inspirational events like the Authors Forum, where we get to interact and think about creativity, about innovation, about entrepreneurship, how we can start, how we can kick off our projects even without capital. That's a question that many people have. How can I start without capital? It is answered in the Authors Forum. And all our other products rotate around inspiring ourselves.
Right. I want to start on a broad level. How do I, as an entrepreneur, a business person, determine my value proposition in business?
Yeah, first of all, I believe that value comes from what we have that is unique. What do you have as an entrepreneur that other people do not have?
Yes.
Yeah. If you're selling a product or a service and there is something that you're adding that I cannot find elsewhere, then I will come to you. In fact, even if you hide in the woods, in the forest, and you're selling something that people cannot find elsewhere, or they cannot find it packaged like yours, people will find you there in the forest. So it's about now creating something new. And I want to say that in the 21st century, innovation is part of business. Business is no longer to be done traditionally, like finding everybody's opening a boutique, you open a boutique. Everybody's opening a saloon or a restaurant, and you open that one. It will not work. In the building where I operate, I see businesses. You find the same room has been used for about 5 different businesses in 1 year. You find somebody's coming there, and then after 2 months closing, another one is coming there, closing, and yet there are other businesses which have been built and they have lasted for generations.
Right.
Some of them have been called family businesses because of the value that they provide. So the value can be provided through packaging your products. It could be the way you package them. It could be the way you market them. It could be the customer care that you offer. Sometimes the product might not necessarily be so different from what other people provide, but the way you provide it, the customer care that goes with it, makes you tick.
And I see that a lot, say, with food chains. For example, if you went to a food court, there's lots of restaurants, but somehow people always go to this particular restaurant.
Yes.
Computer shops. There's lots of computer shops, but people just keep going to this one particular. Is it the failure sometimes for us as business people to understand the strengths of our businesses? How do I even know the strength in my business?
Yeah, there is failing to understand the strength of our businesses, but also failing to understand the needs of the customer. There is what is called consumer loyalty. There is always a certain bond, a relationship that develops between a supplier and the consumer of a certain product. For some reason, you can even walk and live here at Serena building and go to Nakawa for a product when you could have gotten it here within town. Because there is a certain connection. See, where you go for the salon, you find you go to the same place. Why? When you go to church, you go to the same place and you're bypassing other churches. Why? Because there is a certain need of yours that is being addressed. And once the service provider understands your need and then taps into their strength to cover that need, then business becomes deep.
Right. Well, if you're just joining us, I am with Robert Baquet, who is the Managing Director of World of Inspiration, and also the Authors Forum, which is very popular among most of you. Please help us send your feedback or questions to our Facebook page, Morning at NTV, and you can also tweet us at Morning at NTV, and talk to us. You can also ask him your questions. Now, Robert,
yes.
Usually business gets very competitive, and so you're outsmarted, or your competitors get you out of the thing. You're done. What tactics do I use against my competitors? How do I stay ahead of them?
Yeah, that is why I said right from the start, as we plan a business, we should look for something that is unique about us. We have competition, and you're not going to kill other people coming to to join your business. They will come and start the same businesses. But the new ideas that you add, the innovation, the creativity that you add, that differentiates you from them, that is what keeps you ahead of the game. When I started the Authors Forum, there are so many other events that have started which are like the Authors Forum, but many of them have failed. They have done exactly what we are doing, but by the time they do it, we have moved to another level because we keep doing market research. We find out what is it that customers want that is not being done. How can we improve? How can we meet the needs of the customers better? So as long as you're doing your market research, you're innovating, you're changing and adopting according to the changing situations and needs of the customers, you remain ahead of competition. There are so many people who still are very rigid. They want to do something traditionally because it worked last year, therefore it will work this year. Those are the people who will say, in our family, the business we normally do is, let's say, of shops or wholesale. Or for us, we do cattle farming. But even when it is not bringing results, the person keeps insisting. To me, that's not even persevering. It is stubbornness. We are supposed to keep adjusting.
Or maybe some of us fear taking risks, and you're like, why should I venture into something that I don't know about? I don't have a clue. So you know what? There was a time when, wholesaling worked. It will work again. Let me just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, actually it is fear, mainly fear of doing something new, fear of change. And as long as we have fear, then we cannot progress in business, because business requires innovation, and innovation means doing something that nobody else has done. You have not seen anybody else do it, but you believe it can be done, and you try it until you see results. Like the Wright brothers who invented the aeroplane. At the time when they were thinking of creating the aeroplane, when they shared their ideas with people, scientists, they said, as long as science lives, what you're talking about can never happen.
Yes.
But don't we see aeroplanes in the air today? They disobey the law of gravity, because at a certain point, even when there was no aeroplane, these people in their minds believed that they can do something that disobeys even a natural law. So even when it comes to business, that is why we need to start something unique, something that takes us away from our competitors and gives us an advantage over them. When I was writing my third book, I wrote the first and the second book as a way of, it was almost like a joke. I was just enjoying my talent. But after the second book, I felt I needed to earn from literature. I said I want to earn and become rich from literature, even when people don't believe that in Uganda, in Africa, you can become rich from literature.
Because no one is going to buy the books
Yes, but things are changing.
A few of us read.
Do you know that at the Authors Forum, every month we now launch a book? And actually we have members producing like 4 to 5 books every month, and we launch one of them. Where are these books going? It is a sign that the reading culture is growing. So when I was writing my 3rd book, I went and sought advice from one of the leading publishers in the country. And this man looked at me, he looked at my age, he looked at my book, he didn't even read through. He said, you know what, if you're going to publish a book that is not academic, not targeted at students, you're not going to sell even 500 copies in a year. Now, and he gave me examples of many prominent people who have written books and they have not sold even 5,000 copies a year. But in my heart, I was saying, why should I judge my success based on other people's failure? In fact, for me, when you tell me something cannot be done, then that is what I want to do, because I want to prove whether actually it can be done or not be, whether it cannot be done. And to cut the long story short, I went ahead and self-published that book. It's called Tapping God's Blessings. That I made sure I popularized the book, we marketed, we promoted the launch. I invited Patrick Vitature of Simba Group, who happens to be my mentor. He came and addressed the people. We were able to sell more than 3,000 copies in 1 month. And he had told me I could not sell 500 copies in a whole year.
Wow.
Yes. So there's no need to fear trying something new.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe today is your time to start going, you know, to those new places and start to discover. Of course, Robert, I'll bring you back because I feel, you know, there's so much that we can tap into, especially also understanding the culture of reading and writing in this country. Why few people are writing, why few people are reading. I will definitely bring you back. And next week, I will also be looking at compulsory investments. And some of these things can help you save money, you know, on a monthly basis if you've not been saving. Next week, you'll be learning more of that. So tune in on Monday if you're a business person, if you need to up your financial, you know, status. There'll be some good stuff to learn on Monday. Now standing by, Tuka Brian from Sports Bar. We've borrowed him, Isma, who is not feeling well. Tuka is here on his way. Good morning, Tuka.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Brian.
Tuka, what's the latest? What you know, the weekend was really power packed. Liverpool mean business now. It looks like Chikopo Bachitute. What do we have also on the sports menu this morning?
You seem to have more updates than any other I've heard about Isma. But unfortunately, if he had a lot of food, sorry for him. We're so fortunate that for the sports lovers, there's a lot of action always around the festive season, whether it's Christmas or Easter. And there was lots of it, from Busika to China to Italy, the English Premier League, and of course the Spanish La Liga. And also, we'll have 1 or 2 seconds for what happened in the NBA from the US. So lots of stuff coming up.
Well, we'll be talking more sport with Mabel, Brian, and Brian. Stay with us. Good morning.
Everyday Life was brought to you by...
And we are HTC.
You can bring everybody in parliament as long as they can wake up and vote for the NRM.
As long as the voters exercise their rights to elect their leaders, there was no need for term limits in Uganda.
I know him. I know how he operates. I know how he thinks.
There are ways you can go around these obstacles.
Why should I conduct myself as if I am Muyai?
It's absolutely true. I admired the President Museveni.
Is the ICC a fiscal code targeting African leaders?
You cannot tell me that the whole trouble Kenya had revolved about only the 2 individuals.
The money is not in the budget of this financial year.
You can't beat God. You see, God is polygamous also. Look at Jeremiah chapter 31.
The security of this country will largely depend on the contribution that the people make.
The average age of the entire national team is under 18. And so
The primary role of Team Uganda is to remain Division 2.
Probably that's the only thing that can make one or two rugby fans smile, that the Cubs are doing well.
The players haven't put on they haven't wore the game faces. They're not the animals we saw last season, because Ferguson had the same group of players and he did deliver the Holy Grail, which is the title.
This is New Close-Up Deep Action. We created it to give the world 3 times fresher breath and eliminate up to 99% of germs. Maybe we went too far. There's an outbreak of freshness. Now the best ever from Close-Up. 3 times fresher breath.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Deception.
It seems like you didn't have breakfast.
I left home early.
I don't know what to do. Because Chris was so mad. I have never seen it like I saw him yesterday. He came back last night drunk.
Sheila bird.
Bravery. Man, you're just overreacting.
Look, bravery.
You're just
Are you crazy?
You're just overreacting.
Just get out.
I called you here to help me out, not to point fingers on me.
Monica, I'm just trying to get
Lila,
the
listen
point.
to me.
That's why Mike Agundi agamba olubuto luwe.
Deception.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Fifteen on to 9. Thank you so much for staying us. Easter Monday. So that is the compensation really for us. Some of us who have to work no matter what, whether it's a public holiday or not. I think Easter is the only consistent public holiday. It always comes on a Sunday. Always. And Easter Monday is always on a Monday.
And Good Friday always on a Friday.
It's our government.
It's such a huge holiday. I mean, from Thursday. Guys, stop working on Thursday.
On Thursday?
Go back to office Tuesday.
Yeah.
But while you tell people, is this the only way you console yourself because you're here and other guys are sleeping? Some other dudes are saying, these guys only work for about 3 hours and they're done.
I don't work for 3 hours. I work the whole day.
No. Guys are thinking after you're done with the morning at NTV, go back and sleep.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, that's fair enough. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
But I'm so unfortunate. I mean, I get into NTV and you know, the first thing member tells me, is that Isma? You look like Isma. Oh God. I thought I was better than that. But anyways, it's so good. Thank you very much. Hey. No, I am. It's not that I thought. But since I'm sitting in this chair, I'll take everything that comes at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Isma, get well soon. Check. Isma was overwhelmed with the number of Rolexes.
Iganga is not near, man.
Right.
Yeah, Iganga is not
Tuvawala.
I know.
Well, Tuka, over the weekend we had the Central Africa Motocross Championship in Busika. Was it a happy ending for Team Uganda?
Definitely. It had to be because, I mean, if you've been following what has been happening, there was a lot of, I think, build-up to the Central African Motocross Championship. And there was a lot of talk from team captain Arthur Bleak, and he emphasized how important it was for them to have lots of riders at the event, which was huge for them, because given that it's accumulation of points, the more driver you have, and that's if they do well, because there's having too many, but they almost come on the last sheet of the results. But I think they were very decent. Maxime Van P, who is the best rider, you have to think at the track for Team Uganda. managed to beat up on all his opponents in the MX1, and he was stopped there. Arthur Bleak came in third. And of course, Tutu Minor, the guy who was supposed to be competing with Maxime Vampy, coming in second. Actually, Maxime Vampy should have won all the 4, but I think because he wanted to be too tricky and of course give one or two fans a smile, he ended up actually somersaulting and going down with the bike,
and so
hence not making the 60 points.
Yeah, you lose more time trying to
exactly.
get up.
You know, it's okay losing the time so long as you don't go down. But once you go down, the rest of the guys are going to go past you, and that's how he actually lost out. But I think a dominant performance by Uganda, I think, as you see. MX2, of course, the Kenyans having a good ride, the Apollo Mbuki, and but we had Fatu Chigunu and Charles Chingangi from Kenya coming in third. The 125cc is purely dominated by Kenyans. And 85cc is Al Umar and Elias Shaman and Wolf Chiera from Kenya. 65cc we had Chigenyi Kiplagat, Benny Sumba and Joshua Mangala 46 points. So the Ugandans clearly giving themselves a huge advantage because the first round is here, next is Kenya later on in the year, then the third they have to come back here. So they have got to ensure also that they do a very good job down in Kenya too. Yeah. And the last one this event in 2012. So they've got to do themselves something this year because the Kenyans have dominated this big time.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to volleyball. The Nemo Stars are headed towards their third league title. Do you see any challenges in their way?
A huge, given what happened on Saturday, you would love to think that there's going to be huge competition. Maybe if we are to go with what happened, because KVC put up a fantastic show. Because they thought Nemo Stars, defending champions, 1-2 on the bounce. If they come in, they're simply going to sweep these guys, probably by 3-0. And guess what happens? KVC start the game, they take a 2-0 lead. But of course, champions sometimes are not determined by what they do without a challenge. You're 2-0 down, come back into the game, and win actually 3-2. So Nemo Stars actually making a statement that we could have been a little probably lazy here and there and probably undermining the KVC youngsters. But we came back into the game, which is a huge statement for anyone who's going to be competing with them. Because 2-0 down to come back and win 3-2, that was huge. But you have to give KVC a lot of credit. So many people thought Nemo Stars are simply going to walk through. That young team was marvelous. And guess what? They've got a female coach on the bench. That's brilliant. Female coach coaching young guys. Guys actually. Young men and some boys in there.
Right.
Brilliant stuff. So maybe you can have a chance somewhere. You never know. Yeah, probably with woodball or
she tried golf.
I beat him as well.
In golf there's nothing like coaches. So
yeah, she was terrible.
I was better than
him. Well, moving on to one of the biggest sports in the world, Formula One. Yeah. Another win for Mercedes. Yeah. Can anyone stop them?
They look unstoppable, to be sincere to you, and how unfortunate for the rest of the other teams that the new upgrades that they made to Formula One, the biggest, I think, changes to the sport have actually worked in favor of Mercedes. But to start with, of course, as a black man, I enjoy it. There was only one black man riding. Actually, one black man driving in F1 and is doing unbelievable stuff.
Right.
Half winning.
Black.
Half black? You understand that?
Black.
I care less is black, the color. I care less. Anything black anywhere around. Because the rest of the guys are purely white. Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso, all those guys. Right. So we have someone who I am sure has African roots in Formula 1. Very sure, because there's no way you can add that black color without being there. But anyway, Lewis Hamilton doing himself huge favors, given that these guys are struggling. You have to think that he's doing himself a good job, winning 3 races on the bounce, and Nico Rosberg coming in second. Fernando Alonso and Vettel have got a lot of work to do.
Can they bounce back?
That's going to be the huge question, because people are saying, okay, that Formula One break, 3 weeks I think they take, or a month, before they can come back, can do them a huge favor. But we can only wait and see, because these guys are taking a huge lead. For you to catch up, it might be tough for you, because what Lewis Hamilton and Rosberg have to do is to keep just close to the guys, even if they are leading.
Right.
So that's going to be huge for them. Fernando Alonso and Vettel, a lot of work to do on the cars.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you've just watched some of the pictures from the Chinese Grand Prix, and I know people who are passionate about Formula One.
I know that. I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline. We want to talk about motocross. But once you have your full, buffet, if Isma had eaten this food and gone to Busika, there will be no sickness because the food will be blown up. I don't have adrenaline in F1. and much as also in motocross.
Finally, we are talking basketball.
Yes, basketball, NBA. What can you say from the first round of the playoffs?
Huge statements made by some underdogs, because the Atlanta Hawks were facing the Indiana Pacers. You thought Indiana Pacers was probably going to sweep this. The Hawks had one or two things to say about this, because they take a 1-0 lead. Charlotte Bobcats beaten by the defending champions, the Miami Heat. Maybe the other shock could have come from the Chicago Bulls game, because you thought the Chicago Bulls also were potential sweepers into this, but now they trail 1-0. So huge statements by some underdogs in there. But we can only wait and see what happens, because this is the time when people say the NBA has started. Playoff basketball is the real business, not the regular season. So the business has started it. The Miami Heat are in there, San Antonio Spurs doing well, Oklahoma City Thunder winning the first rounds. So the teams that works, 3 of those, yes. Atlanta, I think Indiana Pacers and Chicago Bulls have got to bounce back, and I expect them to bounce back.
Right. Well, let's talk now some real sport.
Chelsea lost. Let's start there.
Let's start from there. I want to congratulate the team and the referees. What kind of BS was that?
First of all, I love it. You exactly said it, because he picks, I mean, before he could even answer any questions, he says, first of all, I have 4 things to say. I want to congratulate my team for doing what they could and what they couldn't. 2, and congratulate for Sunderland for winning. Then 3, I want to congratulate Mike Dean for the job well done. And I want to congratulate Mike Riley. Mike Riley is the head of referees in England. So we're saying for giving them a very good appointment. But I think Mourinho is becoming too much of a crybaby. I mean, at Stamford Bridge, they should have lost the game against the West Bromwich Albion. They were given a forced penalty. The whole world knew about it.
Right.
Nobody complained about it. I don't think Steve Clark went and said, thank you for the referee for a good performance. Mourinho just knew that actually probably the title was gone. And now he's giving excuses. I don't think Chelsea were good enough on the day.
What are the odds that they can bounce back?
Right now, it's beyond them, because now Liverpool are on top. They are leading by 5 points. Even if Chelsea go to Anfield and beat them, they still have a 2-point lead.
Yes.
Now that means actually it's now left to Man City and Liverpool. If Chelsea beat Man City, so if Chelsea beat Liverpool, Man City win their 2 games in hand, which start tonight, and then an extra game. If they do that, then that means there will be 11 points with Liverpool, and then this title probably could be won on a goal difference. But I'll tell you something, this Liverpool team is really looking
still on top.
they're really looking good.
My money.
I think it's the phrase "it's theirs to lose" has never made more sense than it does after the weekend action, because Liverpool are looking good. The only concern is going to be how many they are conceding. They are really conceding a lot of goals. Terrible stuff from them.
Do you think
Man City
can bounce back tonight?
Oh, why not? I mean, of course they drew in midweek against Sunderland. They have a big game against West Bromwich Albion. West Bromwich Albion are fighting for their lives in the league. But this is City we are talking about. The Heat, they've been brilliant. Can they bounce back? I expect them to. But given the Premier League, given what has been happening in the Premier League, anything can happen. But at the Heat, do you expect Man City to really walk through West Bromwich Albion?
Katina, you talk about us.
Arsenal, we're fighting now with Everton.
At least Arsenal and Everton are fighting for something. How about United, who are fighting for purely nothing? Actually, some United fans say, I wish we don't go to Europe. Let's just concentrate on the Premier League. Liverpool won the Premier Liverpool are close to win the Premier League because they didn't have any much action in Europe. Can United do the same? We're not sure, because David Moyes has been lacking in lots of, because they are purely dominated by Everton. Now, this will go down to the wire, because Arsenal have a 1-point lead on Everton, and they still have 3 points, I think, 3 points to go. So you have to think Arsenal and Everton are going to fight this out until the last game of the season, because Everton are really looking good. Roberto Martinez has done a huge job, but if there's anybody who knows how to finish 4th, even if it was a World Cup to finish 4th, Arsenal are the best. Well, at least to the final. But remember, you beat Hull City. So the law of averages sometimes can go against you. Beat them now. How about in the final? They could have something.
They can come back and haunt us. But I think Maria, that's how
you have to. That's how bad it is. You have to pray. What should United fans do? Fast. Because you're playing. At least you're on the final. And you can finish the
Manchester will need a crusade at Colorado for you.
I think about 2 or 3 crusades. With a few pastors speaking in languages.
Well, catch more sport later with Brian Tuka and Lumanse and Alan on Omumuli.
Omumuli, of course, later on in the evening,
yes,
Sports Bar.
Sports Bar from Club Souk at 10:30 p.m. and you'll get more details.
It's actually now earlier, so don't sleep late. After the news, we are on.
Oh, you're on?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
9 o'clock news, though, not 7. Thank you.
John, let's head to your African proverb. To Haise Bridget this morning suggesting an Ashanti proverb. If plain water was satisfying enough, then the fish would not take the hook.
Plain water was satisfying.
They're tempted.
They're tempted to do what?
When they see that worm on the hook, or whatever it is, the bait on the hook, they're tempted.
You know, sometimes it's good to learn one or two things. I've never tried fishing, but let me listen to the expert in Mebe. Continue.
The experts on Facebook saying, Mushabaru Gwaib saying, it means the word satisfied does not exist. You're always, you can never be satisfied. You're always looking for something more. Noamanya Eric, it means though we have got property, we still need more. Does it make sense, guys?
Yeah, I think
Emmanuel Senyondu are saying, instead of people criticizing you, let them analyze you critically.
What's that?
Okay. Raymond, Manchester United, Dale Gracious, change your name. There's nothing proud about.
As a true fan, but if you're still called United, then yeah.
People are not always,
the proverb makes meaning to him.
People are not always contented with what they have. Always yearn for small things, yet they have many. Well, of course, the rest of you also commenting. I guess that's what really our African proverb today means. Yes, satisfaction can never be enough. We see some of the richest people around the world, they're always looking for more and more and more. Maybe it's a time for you to be contented with what you have, because there's someone who is trying to look for what you have. And it's been awesome. It's a Monday. Good. That doesn't make sense.
Easter Monday.
Why was Easter Monday, bro?
Good Monday.
Hey, are you complaining? They can scrap it off.
You be very careful.
Yes.
Complaining about a public holiday.
Yeah, that's not good,
corporate guys will meet you at the gate and they will thump you. You don't want to, you don't.
Because for you have to work.
All right, and I want to say have a fantastic day, and I will catch you tomorrow again. The show starts at 5:30, but we go live at 7 o'clock, and you can catch Fit and Fab, and of course, some soul moment, but we go live at 7. From the rest of the crew here, down at the NTV studios at the International Conference Center, and also here at the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel, we want to say, hasta la vista, baby. Bye-bye.
NTV, turning on your world.
She was molested when she was 6 by someone she trusted.
The doctors finally walked into the door. They basically were telling me that she had a 5% chance of living.
I couldn't understand how somebody that tells you they loved you, that held you as a child, could abuse you.
Tommy Scott grew up among gang violence, drugs, and poverty in the projects of South Central Los Angeles.
I felt not normal, not good. I wasn't lovable.
As a teen, Melissa discovered that drinking gave some relief.
Tommy is free today and continues to tell people that it was Jesus who changed his life.
The time I spent in prison, I spent putting my ideas together on, how I was going to come back and make it all right.
And I realized my purpose, that I was created to reflect the glory of God.
Duke now realizes why God kept him alive.
These were real people facing desperate situations, just like you and me.
Jesus died to set you free, and he can give you a new heart.
running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Destiny River.
Most likely he will remain in the coma state that he is in until the end.
The end?
Yes.
Pray for him, Father.
How are you, my man? Marikita, I really need to talk to you for a second, okay?
No.
Destiny River.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Behold, he comes, riding on a cloud, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, yes. So lift your These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And though these are days of great trial, of famine and darkness and sword, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, hey, riding on a cloud, yes, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. The dry bones becoming as fresh. And these are the days of your servant David, rebuilding a temple of praise. And these are the days of the harvest, yes Lord. The fields are as white in your word. Yes, and we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Behold, he comes, yeah, riding on the cloud. Here he comes, shining like the sun. Hey, at the trumpet call, tonight. There's no God like Jehovah. Come on. Say it. Like Jehovah. There's no God 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 like Jehovah. Nobody. There's no God like Jehovah. Nobody. There's no nobody. Nobody. Here he comes. Yeah. Lift your voice. It's your year too. Yes, it is. Out of science here, salvation. Here he comes. Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. At the sun, at the trumpet call. Lift your voice. It's your year. Your year. Yeah. Out of science here, salvation. Lift your
This song is dedicated to the backslider. Sometimes you lose your way, and then you find your way back into his arms.
O'Brien music. I catch myself time and time again, trying to do my own thing, and it always leads to falling into sin. Then I tell myself, start running from your ways. Maybe that was just a phase. I don't think it's my time right now. Now worse off than I was. I can't make it without you, Lord. Yeah, I need your love. I'm tired of slipping, tired of dipping. I keep on running out on you. I keep on running out. Tired of my way, leading me astray. I need to be lost in you. I need to be lost in you. I need to come back, Lord, I wanna come back. I need to come back to you. I need to come back, Lord, I wanna come back. I need to come back to you. I've learned my lesson, fade my old ways. Now what I gotta do is trust and obey. Yes, sin is fun, but it's only for a season. Now I gotta reap what I sow, and it happened for this reason. Because I went astray, I was caught up in a daze, yeah, running from you. Now that the damage is done, I know that you're the only one who can pick up the pieces and put me back together. Tired of slipping, tired of dipping. I keep on running out on you. Tired of my way, leading me astray. I need to be lost in you. I need to be lost in you. I need to come back. I need to come back. I need to come back to you. Oh yeah, yeah. I need to come back. Need to come back. I need to come back to you. Oh yeah. I get out my way, leading me astray. I need to be lost in you. I need to be lost in you. I need to come back. Don't wanna come back. I need to come back to you. Need to come back. I need to come back. Come back. I need to come back to you.
NTV, turning on your world.
Smelling nice and being tough can go together. The freshness of fabric conditioner is now combined with the best ever stain removal of Omo. New Omo, best ever stain removal with fabric conditioner freshness.
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect.
Good morning.
How you browse. How you share. And how you interact with the world around you.
Your relationship with your God is the most important thing. Have a company of people who have got a similar mindset.
How do you want people to think, feel, and act after your talk? In other words, what's your objective?
You inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
What's that?
That document.
Oh, that. Just some business.
I came to apologize. I have no right to interfere in your lives.
I've eliminated the only evidence that links me to Ivan Chinawa's death.
But you didn't have to kill another person.
It's not like I've got anything to hide, Nene. Just go ahead.
Victoria, how is it like to work for Miles Vilagazi?
Blood seemed to matter not.
Blood?
Yeah, blood.
I'm responsible for your father's death.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Deception.
It seems like you didn't have breakfast.
I left home early.
I don't know what to do. Because Chris was so mad. I have never seen him like I saw him yesterday. He came back last night drunk.
Shilebet.
Bravery. Man, you're just overreacting.
Look, bravery.
You're just
Are you crazy?
You're just overreacting.
Just get out.
I called you here to help me out, not to point fingers on me.
Monica, I'm just trying to get
Lila,
the
listen
point
to me.
as to why Mike Agunda Gambum Oluto way.
Deception.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
This program is rated PG. It is suitable for children ages 8 and above, but parental guidance is advised as it might contain mild violence and mature situations.
See what happened there? Huh?
I'm pretty sure you hit me.
No, I give you left. You think I'm gonna give you another left, and I gave you a right. I'm just telling you that's what boxing's all about, okay? You show your opponent one thing, and you do something else. That's how Ali took the title from Foreman. He beat him with a rope-a-dope. Don't you remember?
I don't remember what day of week it is.
That's right. Everyone thought Ali's arms had run out, but he's on empty. But he's just setting Foreman up. He doesn't burn himself out. And then in the 8th round, he comes. Poor George has got nothing left.
I always like Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah, you learn. Don't look at my hands. Don't look at my hands. Look at my shoulder. That's where the punch is coming from. See? Come on! Ah, you're still looking at my hands. Now, come on. Let's try it again. Come on, focus. Come on. Shoulders, shoulders.
Here.
No, you keep it.
Come on, you won.
Yeah, but I always win. I'm so guilty about it.
Shut up and take it.
You know why you didn't beat me today, Hal?
Could it be that you've been boxing for 20 years and you're better at it than I am?
No. You don't have the will to win.
Well, your insight is shattering.
You had me today. You could have shut me down, but you blinked.
Yeah, well, we're only sparring, buddy.
Thinking like that is exactly why you lost. Now take this.
It's yours.
No. Take it. If you didn't give it everything you've got, then I don't want it. Go ahead.
You don't understand. You see, it really is yours. I took it out of your wallet while you were in the shower.
General?
General?
Major, were you recently promoted past me?
No, sir.
Then why are you smoking in my briefing room?
Sorry about that, sir. That'll never happen again.
Sit.
You take off in the stealth at Dark 30.
Fly a simulated low-level border penetration. Nap of the earth all the way.
Usual. Scare the cows, wake the farmers.
Not tonight, buddy. We're flying the B-3 with 2 live nukes.
Palmdale's concerned about low-level gamma and X-ray diffusion screwing up the peripherals. They want to send up a couple on a pre-dawn run. See if anything glows.
61s?
Big ones. 83s.
Phew. Crowd pleasers.
How's your head?
It's all right. I'll be fine.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. I'll get you back.
Now you're dreaming.
After you, Major.
These exercises are fantastic. When the day comes that we have to go to war against Utah, we are really gonna kick ass, you know?
Ground control, ready for rollout.
Park Ranger! I'd like to speak to you about this campfire.
Should I go? No wonder. You stay put. Yeah, I know. No wood fires in the park. Just that Wanda has a cold and I'm trying to keep her warm.
Sir, have you seen any other hikers or campers in this area?
Not this time of year. Say, what's the fine for something like this?
Pretty steep. Secured.
Jesus Christ. Drag him out of there. He's smelling that all night.
Climb heading 287, flight level 200.
That's 287-200.
I don't think that Aurora project's gonna happen for me. Spoke to your buddy Taylor. He doesn't feel like I have enough fighter time to qualify.
And what did you say to him?
Thank you very much, sir. Goodbye.
You'll never change, will you? And that, my friend, will be your downfall.
You know what your problem is?
Yeah, I'm always right.
You think you're always right.
That's deep.
You said so yourself. You should have made Colonel by now, but you're too busy pushing at everybody all the time.
Well, that's an awesome responsibility, isn't it? McMurrin Control, this is Go 7. Colonel, you boys in Utah still awake?
Copy, Major Deacons. We're ready and waiting. Be advised, we're gonna catch your sorry little bus this morning and bite down hard. You may pass that along to Captain Hale with my compliments.
Ooh, Wilkins is giving us attitude. You want to take it through tonight?
Tell him I'm gonna fly this thing in one ear and out the other. He won't even know we were there.
Copy, Colonel. Hale says that if anyone can catch us, you can.
And everyone get it fixed. They're about to turn out the lights.
210 degrees.
Ready, Captain?
On your command, Major.
Go to war.
Initiating stealth mode.
River Valley approach, here we go.
Colonel, they've gone to stealth mode.
Team, we lost them on the radar. Anybody still holding? Anybody?
Got capture on their heat signatures, sir.
Good.
They may be running cold, but the air above 10.5 is colder.
Good man, Frenchie, I like that.
Descend to 400 feet AGL. Altimeter setting 3001.
Airspeed 0.7 Mach, 3001, 400 feet. Nap of the Earth, here we go.
Terry, you been through the Needles entrance tonight?
No, why?
Mrs. Parker just called.
Oh, God. What is it this time, another UFO? Or did Elvis drop by for dinner?
She didn't mention him, but she said a bunch of trucks went through the Needles entrance about an hour ago, and she thought they looked a little suspicious.
Clyde, what exactly does a suspicious truck look like?
I don't know, and I have no ID.
Me neither.
Yeah, the thing is, though, she said one of the trucks was ours. You're the only one out there tonight, so if it wasn't you...
She was probably just hallucinating. But don't worry, I'll check it out.
Lost them.
Damn. I'm gonna keep hunting, keep hunting.
We're below their eyes and ears. Proceed to primary target. Descending to 200 feet. Ridge coming up in 6 seconds. I got it.
Woo! Very nicely done. Excellent.
Switching to autopilot.
Almost as good as me.
I still left a few trees behind. I'll try to do better next time.
You really love this shit, don't you?
Well, where else can you fly a $2 billion plane 800 miles an hour, 100 feet off the ground?
Well, that is a fact. That is a fact. You're in for life, huh?
As long as they'll have me, aren't you?
Nah. I don't think so. I mean, come on. I mean, you even said it yourself. I should be colonel by now. Instead, idiots like Boone become general.
Boone is not such a bad guy.
Ah, come on. If he had a thought go through his head, it'd be the quickest trip in North America. Nah. Flying doesn't mean what it used to mean to me.
Not the flying, carrying the nukes. I know you. You love having the power of God at your fingertips. Get off on it.
Look out your window. There's something wrong with the terrain following here. Shouldn't that starboard ridge be on our port side?
Here she comes. No! What the hell are you doing?
Looking at half the valley, and there's nothing going. Holy shit.
Give me search and rescue. We got pilots down.
Plane crashed 18 minutes ago.
The White House Chief of Staff is on his way up. morning, gentlemen. So, do I wake the president?
Bill.
Jack. Well, what have we got?
We're going out with this. Rick's team prepared it.
The United States Air Force regrets to announce that early this morning, a C-141 heavy-lift cargo plane went down over the Utah desert. The status of the crew has yet to be determined, yada, yada, yada. Well, that's very nice bullshit, Rick.
Thank you, sir.
We'll go with that.
Wait. We're making a mistake.
Giles, you have some input you wish to share with us?
Yes, sir. Aviation Week has been following the development of the B-3 for years.
Aviation Week?
They have stringers, guys camping out in lawn chairs all night out by the Whiteman perimeter fence, watching just in case one of these things take off. Now, they're gonna know that one took off last night, and they're gonna know that it didn't come back. And we put out a press release saying a C-141 went down in Utah. They're gonna put two and two together. Aviation Week is gonna run a story, everyone's gonna know what really happened, and we're all gonna look extremely stupid. We're better off just telling the truth.
The truth? How'd you get this job? Rewrite it, like Giles said.
Yes, sir.
I want you to go to Utah. I'll have my C-21 standing by. That was good work in there. Guys in lawn chairs. I don't know, Giles. Sometimes you scare me.
Hell, sir. Sometimes I scare myself.
Watching needles there, Chief.
The nukes are gone.
Colonel! We got ourselves a broken arrow.
You find those nukes, Chief. If your Geigers pick up more rats and you get off a toaster, I want you out of there.
Broken what?
Broken arrow. It's a Class 4 strategic theater emergency. It's what we call it when we lose a nuclear weapon.
I don't know what's scarier. Losing nuclear weapons, or that it happens so often there's actually a term for it.
They found the wreckage about 90 miles outside of McMurrin. No bombs on board. This is a real nightmare. We don't know where the hell the damn things are.
Cappy? Sir. Put 2 more teams in the air. I want Chief Rhodes and his men backed up to the fullest extent.
Why didn't they go off?
They have to be armed to detonate. They're designed to survive crashes intact. They could lie in a pool of burning jet fuel for 5 hours, no problem.
So what the hell happened?
In his last transmission, Major Deacon said that Captain Hale lost control. It's possible one of them may have hit weapons release during the confusion.
You won that round.
Sir, please turn around.
Who the hell are you?
Park Ranger. Just put it down, and I won't have to kill you.
This isn't a standoff. I've got the gun.
I never keep it loaded.
You said it wasn't loaded.
I lied. Now, who the hell are you?
I'm a captain in the United States Air Force.
Well, Captain, you're under arrest until we can get this sorted out.
Lady, you're missing the bigger picture here. Hold still. All right? I've already had a hell of a morning, lady. Now, I'm not allowed to tell you what's going on, but I need your help, okay?
This is a good way to convince me.
We both know that the gun is loaded, so if I wanted to, I could blow your head off, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
I got a radio in my truck. It's this way.
Got him! We got one.
How you doing? Hey! You guys need any help? It's an Air Force training exercise, sir. Now I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Hey, no problem. We just, Oh, jeez.
Any sign of Deacons?
Maybe the son of a bitch is dead.
What a terrible thing to say. get him.
You assured me everything would go smoothly.
Everything is going smoothly, I assure you.
Our merchandise is not where it's supposed to be.
It's right down there, Mr. Pritchett. Everything's on schedule.
Sir, we got one intact. Let's go find the other one. Move! Go!
Care for a Coke or something?
2 gunships just left McMurrin and are headed this way.
Oh, wonderful.
Don't worry about them.
I worry. What about the other pilot? We saw him eject.
Huh. Captain Hale, well, I seriously doubt that he's alive. I punched him out of the cockpit when we were scraping the valley floor.
There's a report that a park ranger called in. Said she saw a pilot come down, was gonna go look for him.
Really? Find her.
I got it!
Hello. McMurrin, come in.
Go, Max.
McMurrin, come in, over. McMurrin.
Max, you there?
McMurrin?
Max!
McMurrin, come in. Move! Gonna open up the access panels. Gonna drop in a couple grenades. We won't go nuclear, but we'll destroy the bomb. And who's ever trying to steal it?
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Chief.
And why not?
All clear!
Where's this truck of yours?
Just around the bend.
How did you find me?
Saw your chute. Oh, don't step on that stuff! There, on that black stuff.
Jeez,
It's cryptogamic soil. Very fragile. One footprint takes centuries to repair.
Oh.
Come on, jump. Yeah.
I thought it was a mine or something. Endangered dirt. That's a new one.
Colonel Wilkins, this is Airman Kelly, sir!
Go.
Chief Rhodes is dead! They're all dead!
What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
It's the nuke! It's open! It's wide open!
Kelly, come in!
What happened?
Oh, God! What am I gonna do?
Woo!
We call search and rescue. Get me Washington. I want Nest on this right now.
You missed your calling, boy.
Andy, I even bought it.
Make sure you get Hale! Go! I'd like to remind you there's still 2 attack helicopters headed this way!
Not anymore. They've just been recalled.
I'm checking the perimeter.
Yeah, that's where they're headed. They're going over.
Get to work! You see, Mr. Pritchett, they believe they've got an exposed core. And that changes things remarkably. Because you can't just send people out to active radiation area. I mean, that just wouldn't be right. First thing you have to do is take a picture from a satellite. Hell, that takes about an hour and a half just to change orbit. Then they got to send in a Nest. That's a nuclear emergency search team. Closest one is about 2 hours from here. So you see, by the time they find us, we'll be gone. So relax.
radio can get a signal to McMurrin from here?
I'll have Clyde patch us through. If we can get your people in here, then I can go home and feed my dog. Clyde, this is Terry. Do you read me? Hello, Clyde. This is Terry. Do you read me? Why the hell are they shooting at us?
I don't think we have time to discuss it right now.
Come on. Let's have some fun.
You okay?
Yeah.
Here, give me your gun. Come on. You have any more bullets for this thing?
Yeah.
We need to get out of this canyon.
We can get out up that way.
Now if I could just get that bastard to hold still.
I have an idea.
No, wait, I didn't mean...
Oh, shit.
Don't shoot!
Where is he?
I don't know.
Novichok must hit a canyon wall. You think?
Maybe.
Maybe? You said you'd plan this thing carefully. How are we gonna move those things now?
Use the trucks. That's why they're there.
The trucks now! Listen, I've spent a lot of money underwriting this. And frankly, you're beginning to shake my confidence.
Well, yeah, well, I do appreciate the money that you and your associates have invested in this operation, but it is an operation. It's a military operation, and you don't know dick about that. Now, I haven't been in the military for 20 years. I planned and flew over 100 missions in the Gulf. I put these boys together because they are motivated and they are highly trained like me. This is what I do, Mr. Pritchett, and this is battle. And battle is a highly fluid situation. You plan on your contingencies, and I have. You keep your initiative, and I will. But what you don't do is share command. It's never a good idea.
Still my money.
And if we succeed, you and your friends will get a ton of it.
If we're successful.
Look, Mr. Pritchett, I will deliver the weapons to the destination. But I can't depend, and I can't guarantee that those assholes in Washington won't do something stupid like not pay.
What if they don't?
Well, if they don't, the Southwest will be a quiet neighborhood for about 10,000 years.
Wilkins. Fax me their last transmission. How much radiation is tracking out there?
Fax that to Mr. Prentice.
Yes, sir.
So far, we're not picking up any.
Well, that's kind of strange, isn't it? I mean, with an exposed core?
Well, I'd call it good news. The breach may not be as bad as we thought.
Colonel, what if this wasn't an accident?
What are you saying, Jones?
In his final transmission just before the crash, Major Deacon said Captain Hale lost it. Now, we all assume that to mean pilot error or equipment failure, but what if he meant Hale intentionally lost the plane?
But why would he do that?
2 nuclear weapons would be worth a lot of money.
To who, son? There are easier ways to buy nuclear weapons. Go to one of the old Soviet republics. They'll fix you up with a couple for the price of a BMW.
Sir, I meant how much would they be worth to us? How much would we pay to get them back?
Hold on. These nukes have codes or something that prevent people from using them.
Of course.
And no one knows these codes, right? Except for the president and you guys?
Access to the codes requires the highest security.
Yeah, but I mean, not even the pilots have these codes, right?
Where's that Nest team now?
They just took off, sir. The ETA in Utah is 96 minutes.
Correct 10 left.
10-4.
It's okay.
It's not okay. I want to know what's going on, and I want to know right now.
We were carrying nuclear weapons on our plane last night. My former commander is trying to steal them.
Oh, my God.
That's why I need your help.
Well, without the helicopter, he won't be able to move them at all.
No. Deke will have a backup plan and be prepared for that.
Trucks. He's got trucks. Last night, Clyde radioed me that someone came through the Needles Gate with trucks.
I don't think he's gonna take him towards town. What else is around here?
The river.
Do you mind?
No, I don't mind at all. Care for one?
See the one in front there? That one's got the nukes in it.
How do you know?
There's only a driver. They're trying to keep the weight down. Here, give me your gun again, will you?
What are you gonna do?
I'll think of something.
Wait. Look, we know where they are. Let's get to a phone and call for help.
If they make it to the river, I'm gonna lose them again. You get to the phone, okay?
Then I'm going with you.
No, you're not.
You're gonna need help.
Look, lady, I don't have time to argue with you, okay? And the nuclear weapons are my responsibility, not yours. You're a park ranger. I'm a military officer. Just go to the phone.
Oh, this is a bad idea. idea. Hi.
Hi. Hell, well, goddamn! Run him down. Get him! Get him! Get him, goddammit! Fuck! Don't panic. Bulletproof glass.
You can get out now.
I don't know. Looks like we got ourselves a standoff.
No, please, don't!
Go! Go!
Okay, you can come.
Would you mind not shooting at the thermonuclear weapons?
Where's St. Jude's Hospital from here?
Salt Lake City, I think. Shit.
What?
We're losing gas.
They must hit the tank. We have to find some place to hide these things.
I know a place.
What the fuck are you up to, Hale? Don't even. Stop!
You learned that in survival school?
New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey. What is this place?
Used to be a copper mine. They shut it down a couple of years ago.
Why would they have a new lock? All right.
Good move, Hale. I didn't see it coming. But you're definitely gonna pay for it. Saddle up, boys.
This place has been prepped. Deke's been here.
But you think he's coming back?
Yeah, that'd be my guess. May not have a lot of time.
What are we gonna do?
just take away his reason for being here. You want to help me unload these things?
Where do you think they're going?
Same place we were. It's the only thing on this road.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
When you fly with nuclear weapons, you're trained to retrieve if possible, disable if necessary, and destroy if essential.
And what are we doing?
I'm gonna disable it. You see, you have to arm these things with a code. If you enter the wrong code 3 times, the nuke goes dead. All the circuitry shuts down and shorts out. So pretty soon these things will be nothing more than paperweights.
NTV, turning on your world.
Sunlight adds fabric conditioners to washing powder to give you Sunlight 2-in-1 for sensational cleaning and fragrance that lasts and lasts and lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1. Sensational cleaning and
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect.
Good morning.
How you browse. How you share. And how you interact with the world around you.
Your relationship with your God is the most important thing.
Have a company of people who have got a similar mindset.
How do you want people to think, feel, and act after your talk? In other words, what's your objective?
You inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of Destiny River.
Most likely, he will remain in the coma state that he is in until the end.
The end?
Yes.
Pray for him, Father.
How are you, my man? Marikita, I really need to talk to you for a second, okay?
No, no, no.
Destiny River.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Hale, pick up. Pick up! Come on, buddy. Pick up the phone.
Buddy, huh? Son of a bitch tried to kill me. Friendship is over.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't like you. Hell, I'm impressed. I figured you'd have packed up and walked off by now.
Yeah, well, you figured wrong. Now I get the nukes. Guess what, Deke? I'm gonna deactivate them. You hear that? Me punching the wrong codes. Pretty soon these things are gonna be absolutely useless. Might as well turn around and drive away.
Outstanding, Hale. That's the spirit. Damn, I'm totally screwed now. Unless, of course, I already thought of that ahead of time.
What?
You're kidding.
Didn't work, did it? I used uncoded circuit boards. You just activated a nuclear warhead, my friend. Setting off a nuke in this mine's been part of my plan from day one. Otherwise, some DC civilian might say, I haven't got the guts.
He's insane.
You know, Hale, I considered bringing you in on this. You know why I didn't?
Because I would have said no?
Nah, if you had said no, I'd have just killed you. I was afraid you were going to say yes. Because you don't have the balls to go through with something like this. We both know that.
Yeah, how deep is this mine?
About 2,000 feet.
That's plenty.
Now look, I'm going to be there in a few minutes. My advice to you is to get out of there as soon as you can. It's your last move, buddy.
You know something, Deke? I can think of another move. I'm gonna keep the both of these things together. Now, if one of them goes off, the other's gonna get buried under 1 billion tons of rock. How's that sound, huh?
He wouldn't do something like that.
You sure about that, buddy?
Shit, fuck! He's gonna do it. Let's get him.
All right, then we gotta be gone before he gets here.
I can't do this.
Listen, you told me this is a copper mine, right? Right?
Right?
Okay, now, the blast and the heat will fuse this place into one big solid copper pot.
But they're coming.
That's right, they're coming. Now, if I don't get these things down to a safe level before they get here, God knows where he's gonna use them.
Just keep an eye on the timer, okay?
All right.